Hey there, GoCo. On episode 415, Zack, CB, and I take a deep dive into Sony's State of Play and Nintendo's Direct, both of which happened this week. In other news, though, there was a huge leak this weekend for GTA 6, and it looks like the PSVR 2 won't have backwards compatibility. New games discussed this week include the Cowabunga Collection, Metal Hellsinger, You Suck at Parking, and The Dark Prophecy. This is The Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to episode 415 of The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com. It's Sunday, September 18th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my friends. First off, Mr. Football himself, Zack Parkerson.
That's right, me. I'm a football guy now. Well, not really. I just hear about it constantly, and yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here, man. Also joining us, as always, Mr. Chris Behrensmeyer. What's up, dude?
See, I never get the love on the intro. It's always Zach. Look at this. Just
Scott and I got a thing you wouldn't understand. Okay.
I know that's what happens when you go out to LA. You just
we're changed men.
Yeah.
That's why Zach turned
secrets
the air
happen.
down.
Secrets happen.
Yeah, turn the air.
He's trying to trick me into cuddling with him.
And it definitely didn't work. Huh?
Definitely did not work. Well, let's get into the games that we've been catching up on. Let's start with you, Zach. How is Circus Electrique coming?
You know, as I play more of it, the less I'm enjoying it.
Oh, really? Is it like repetitive?
Very repetitive, yeah. Well, like I said before, it is nice that it keeps you rotating through your circus performers to kind of keep things fresh. But like once now I've kind of like found a rhythm, and there's just so much combat, and there's not like a lot of variety in the strategy. Like, there's a ton of classes, right? So you can do a lot of fun stuff. But if you just, like, kind of hammer at the dude in the front, you can win most fights. And it's just, I think it's just so darn much fighting, I think. Because there's
too much fighting, not enough story?
Yeah, because there's other intriguing things on the board, like these weird mystery events, or to gather a crowd around for a mini show or stuff like that. But, you get, like, one of those in between every 3 fights or something like that. And it's just a lot of combat. And my problem that I had a little bit last week, where I talked about like how the game's kind of over-designed, it's got like too much going on. They've since added 3 or 4 mechanics since last week.
Oh, good
and
Lord.
It was already just so much going on. And it doesn't need all of it. I'm just not.
Well, because you said it wasn't like super difficult, right?
Right.
Like,
well, I'm just like not interacting with, like, there's a crafting mechanic. I haven't interacted with it once, and I do not see its purpose because I haven't obviously needed anything from the crafting table. So it just kind of feels like it's there because, well, it's a modern video game. People expect a crafting system.
It's another checkbox.
Yes.
Tell you, man, I'm still waiting for that mystery skill tree to show up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You could upgrade your fighter skills, but luckily it's not a darn tree because I would lose it. But I think, honestly, I think it might be a little bit of a victim of the review process where you have to play for hours on end. Because if you were playing this like 30, 40 minutes a day, I think that's enough to like get a fill, do a couple days of the circus, and then go like, all right, time to play something else. And I just don't think it's designed for binge playing. At least that's not to me, anyway.
Yeah, that's one of the things that sucks when you're trying to barrel through a game to get it done out in time. Is that just you get oversaturated, and then it feels like the review's not fair sometimes if you don't like it because you're burnt out.
There's nothing like inherently bad or anything. It's just like, because of its repetitive nature. I don't know. It just feels like it would be nice if I could just play 30 minutes and go on to something else. But because I'm trying to get through it, obviously, it kind of hurts my appreciation of the game.
How far into it are you, or can you tell?
It's kind of, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Yeah, I want to say there's 5 areas of the map, and I'm through 3 of them. I want to say, but yeah, I'm just trying to barrel through it now because games are coming out, as we'll talk about later.
Yes, they are. Yeah, there's one coming out tomorrow that I want to play, and I just don't have the time to do it. But CB, how about you? You got quite a list since you're
all the
dadding it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you, when you're sitting there with a newborn in your arms, you can surprisingly get some games done. So as far as things that I've been catching up this week, man, I hit the achievements hard. First off, Puzzle by Nikolai W. Sudoku. It's basically just
Sudoku.
It's Sudoku. Plain and simple.
No! I thought it was that. I literally thought that was the name of the developer. That's not who made the game. It's just
that's the actual. That's the actual title of the game in the Xbox Game Store.
Oh, okay. Is it Sudoku?
It's Sudoku.
Okay.
Nothing's changed. It's Sudoku. It exists. But I was surprised because this is the first Sudoku game that I found on Xbox.
That's weird. I would have thought at least one or two would have existed.
Yeah. But this is the first one I found, so I played it because wee hours in the morning, great way to just kind of get lost in things. Been playing a lot more Dreamlight Valley.
I'm still surprised that you were all in on that game. That just did not seem a game that you
It's
would like.
getting even better, man.
Really?
Because I've unlocked more characters. And I actually just read an article the other day, but somebody data mined the game already, and there's like 30 more characters coming.
Wow.
Is Aladdin in the game, or is he coming to the game?
Not yet, but he's coming.
Oh, see, I like that. I love
yeah,
that.
So there's more, and I can see this game actually just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Is it doing well? Like, is it popular?
Yeah, Game Pass.
Well, I mean, it's an easy sell when it's free, but I mean, is it selling? I mean, is this a microtransaction game or is it?
No, there's none.
Okay.
Which I'm loving for a Disney game. I'm like the fact that I don't have to buy anything.
Right.
And I can just keep unlocking things. And I mean, it hit the Animal Crossing formula well enough that the people who got burnt out on Animal Crossing can be like, I can play it again, but with Disney characters now.
I was surprised. I looked at it in the PlayStation Store and it costs money.
Oh, yeah. That hurts.
No, I just didn't know it was a premium product. Like, I assumed it was a free-to-play game.
No.
Yeah, but, I mean, I guess it is on it is on Xbox, I guess. But
I mean, if you can still buy it on Xbox. I don't know why you would, but because I think it's like $30 or $40.
Because this game seems like it would have Battle Pass written all over it, you know?
Right. That's what I was saying. Like this.
I was surprised, but I went through every menu and everything, and there's nothing to buy. So
that's kind of crazy.
Perfect. Moving along, I found some free games on Xbox that were sponsored by NASA.
Oh, I remember these. Yeah. Well, there was an old one, and then they had a brand new one as well, didn't they?
So the old one was To the Moon and Beyond. I had never played it. It's a card resource management game. Where basically you're given a budget and you have to buy cards to develop your space program to get to the moon.
Okay.
It's really simple. It's fun. It actually makes you think quite a bit about how much, like, because you have to have you buy things to like develop your rocket and your spacesuit, but you also have to keep public interest up.
Gotcha.
So you don't like lose funding the following year.
I read an article about these that they're like really easy to get all the achievement points.
Super easy. I To the Moon and Beyond, the last two achievements on it suffer from RNG problems.
RNG,
random number generation.
Oh,
so because you can't guarantee what cards you're going to get, so having the perfect run is difficult.
Gotcha.
It sounds like one of those games you would play in a museum, like in the learning center of a museum.
That's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
But the second one, the new one, Space Science Investigations, you are a person on the International Space Station, and you have to like float through the space station and perform tasks and learn about the space station. It's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah,
that sounds like it would be a fun game in VR.
Believe me, this game I think would be a riot in VR. So I'm surprised it's not there. But yeah, they have you go through, like, you take control of the arm and you have to like grab an incoming service pod and like attach it.
That sounds like something me as a kid would have just geeked out over.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I really see games like this. I really wish schools had access to like an Xbox or something for when games like these come out.
Right.
Like kids could be like, oh, look, we can do these things and like learn about things. Cause it was a really fun like experience to go through and like, oh yeah, like this is the Japanese service module and this is the Russian service module, even though there was no flag on it now. So I was like, huh, this feels a little weird. But it has some really cool scenic shots because you can actually open up the window cupola and like look out at the Earth. And one of the hidden achievements is if you actually like keep staring at it. Like somebody has like a UFO on a wire that goes through.
Oh,
and they're like, "Oh, you found something!" I'm like, ha 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 ha. Really cute little game if you like achievement hunting. Super quick, super easy, and it's free.
Cool. I started playing on Apple Arcade Jetpack Joyride 2. Did either of you play Jetpack Joyride? It was a free game on, at least it was on iOS. I don't know if it was on Android.
You
know what I'm talking about?
said iOS, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
I probably put 100 hours in the Jetpack Joyride.
You're being
Not being
facetious,
serious.
aren't you?
It was like Plants vs. Zombie and Jetpack Joyride for years were just like my go-to mobile games.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have played it. Okay. I feel a little bit better.
Well,
then.
yeah, isn't there like the character's name like Barry Fries or something like that? Yeah. I remember. Yeah, I love Jetpack Joyride back in the day.
The sequel has basically expanded on it while still keeping the original gameplay there. The CB, if you're not familiar with it, it's more or less a runner game.
Okay.
But instead of running, you have a jetpack on, and instead of jumping, the lone button that you press activates your jetpack. So it's kind of like you're feathering, to keep it get higher and then let it release it to dodge obstacles and whatnot.
You'll get cool jetpack upgrades like machine gun bullets instead of jet engines and stuff.
Yeah.
So a more involved Flappy Bird.
Yeah.
It's way more fun than Flappy Bird.
How dare you?
I had fun with Flappy Bird.
But Flappy Bird was just the same thing over and over again. Jetpack Joyride had really fun upgrades that would make things, and it was all about trying to get the furthest distance you could, I guess, just like Flappy Bird. So I'm not really...
Yeah, fight me on this one, Scott.
Yeah, I was just realizing. But this one has actually taken it and expanded on it in a way that I didn't even know I wanted from the original, because like you, Zach, I played the original one a ton, and it was a lot of fun. But they've actually like incorporated actual levels now, so you're actually like going through a campaign, and there's bosses at the end of each stage.
Oh, that's cool.
So like instead of just firing down, you actually get weapons now, and then you can actually upgrade the weapon. It's a game that feels like a free to play game. I mean, obviously it's not a free to play game because if you're subscribed to Apple Arcade, that's how you get it, right? But with those games, you don't have microtransactions. But this is one that feels like it needs microtransactions, but it doesn't. Like there's the cards where the card system in a lot of mobile games where you want to upgrade this one weapon, you're going to get you need 12 cards to upgrade it. You've only got 7 now, but when you maybe on the next run you'll earn 5 more, and now you can buy that upgrade with the currency that you collect. And oh, by the way, if you want to buy some of that extra currency, just drop $1.99 here or buy this discounted pack. You know what I'm talking about? So this never has any of that purchasing. And you never feel like you're wanting for more. There's never any the only real wall that you hit in terms of not being able to play more is starting a run over. So like if you die in the middle of a run, you can spend 5 pieces of your currency to pick up where you left off. And some of that currency, there's several different types of currency, but this particular type of currency is one of the ways that you can earn upgrades and things like that. So you don't really want to spend it. All you're really saving is just starting the run over. But I don't know, man. It's just there's so many different things to do in this game outside of just doing the run like you were in the original. So when you finish a run, you come back to the shop and you're doing all of this base management type stuff. You can actually build all these shops that will generate currency for you over real time, or just different upgrades and things. And so it's incentivizing you to try to come back like a free to play game. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just refreshing to be playing a free to play game where it's not asking you to throw money at it. I mean, it's not technically free to play because I had Apple Arcade, like I said, but, and the humor is great. There's just a little quips between Barry and whatever character he's interacting with in between levels, but it's never egregious. It's just 2 or 3 lines and then it moves on. They tell a little cheesy joke.
I don't remember any talking in the first game.
Yeah, no, it's somewhat self-referential because he'll be talking to a character and he'll be like, "Hey, why didn't we see you in the original Jetpack Joyride?"
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, it's just kind of fun little stuff.
Dude, shout out to
that,
Apple Arcade, still trucking along.
Yeah, I mean it's Apple, so people are gonna pay for it.
It's really just. Well, I mean, good point there, Zach. Because honestly, I thought Apple Arcade is being more successful than Google Stadia.
That's kind of like I thought it was going to go the way of Stadia, where it's like, here's this $1 billion company who doesn't know what they're doing, and then they just burn this thing, but it's still around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't talk to too many people that subscribe to it. I feel like anybody that does have it is doing the package deal where you get like, the fitness and the music and the Apple TV and Apple Arcade or whatever all like bundled together. So they're paying for it, but they didn't necessarily pay for it to get that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like
I liked it for Fantasian.
Mm-hmm.
Great game.
And Horizon Chase 2 is a lot of fun. It's a great little racer.
Yeah.
I think it's shocking that I'm playing a game that good on my phone. Like no controller, no nothing. It's just quality. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. Couple new trailers. First off, we got a new one for Sonic Frontiers and also a trailer for remasters of Suikoden 1 and 2. Did I pronounce that correct, Zach?
You did.
That's coming in 2023. We got some new games coming to Game Pass. Also, the PSVR 2 won't have backwards compatibility. That news came out this past week. Xbox apparently has no plans for a hardware price hike. Ubisoft's AAA games will be $70 soon. And pretty huge news that I believe happened either last night or this morning, as of this recording. A huge leak of Grand Theft Auto 6 popped up over the weekend. And then lastly, Bonnie Ross, the lead for Halo at 343, is leaving the company. Zach, remember when I was saying, man, what are we going to talk about news this week? And then it just turned out to be a pretty huge news week.
I told you stuff would happen, and you forgot. We have to give a moment of silence, obviously, for the biggest news of the week, Babylon's Fall getting shut down.
I mean, are you surprised by that?
No, the game that had one concurrent player that 1 week? No, I'm not too surprised. It's just, I think Platinum officially probably has more misses than hits now, right?
It feels like
yeah.
it.
So
they're putting all their eggs into Bayonetta now, right?
I get, yeah. Which is weird because you think they would be making Nier 3.
Right.
But yeah, who knows? What's funny about Babylon's Fall is that it's their own fault. Like they pushed for it to be a live service game, not Square Enix.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just funny that like the rare example of the developer shooting themselves in the foot.
Right.
Anyway, I enjoyed my time with Babylon's Fall. I just thought it was funny that it didn't even last 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, people paid for that game, right?
Yeah, I paid for that game.
And it's worthless now. Like you just can't, because that's just an online game. There's not like a single player component to it, right?
It's just gonna be a disc on the shelf now for forever. It'll be when you look at your games on your shelf, you're like, oh yeah, Babylon's Fall.
You would be surprised at how many of those exist.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's just funny.
So,
oh, by the way, we got. I mean, this is total side tangent. I'll ask you which story you want to talk about, but the Amico apparently is happening.
Yeah,
we should have talked about that last week, but we got an email from the CEO saying that it's looking like they're moving forward.
What is going on?
Phil Adams.
What is this thing?
Won't let it die.
Been in the work for like what, 6 years, something like that.
Feels like it.
It's been out there a while.
And is Tommy Tallarico even attached to it anymore?
No, right?
Kind of.
Because he went psycho on the internet, right?
He went psycho on the internet, but he is still like a fairly large shareholder.
Yeah, but he's not the face of the machine anymore.
Oh no,
right?
they were like, no, keep him in a box.
Yeah.
What did he do? I didn't see the freak out on the internet.
Basically, like anybody who would be like, the Amico, that's going to be dumb. Like he would personally go onto that person's Twitter and just flame them.
It seemed like he was doing Twitter searches for Amico just to like find out who was talking crap. And then like whenever a journalist was like, is this really happening? He'd be like, I'm going to sue you for trying to claim that we're not, that we're trying to do false advertising. Of course it's really coming. Like, Tommy, calm down.
If you want to watch some funny ones, go on YouTube to Pat the NES. Just type in Pat the NES Punk and Amico. Like him and Tommy Tallarico just went at it.
I need to go see that.
Dude, it's great.
Anyway, great music and Advent Rising, Tommy Tallarico, if you're listening.
It's about all you got.
All right, Zach, well, which of these stories that we mentioned do you want to talk about?
Well, I think because of how hard I come after 343 Industries, I think it's important to talk about Bonnie Ross officially leaving Halo after, 15 years?
Yeah, but she's been with, the company and Microsoft or Xbox, I guess, for like 27, 28 years.
That's nuts. 3 decades. Yeah. She put out what is her goodbye statement. Yeah. She put out her goodbye statement after more than 28 years in gaming at Microsoft, including 15 years leading 343 Industries and Halo through its most ambitious steps forward. Bonnie Ross will be leaving Microsoft to spend more time with her family. That's right. That was her exit, right?
That was her out.
Yeah. We are thankful for her leadership of 343, during which the team launched Halo 4-5, the Master Chief Collection, Halo TV show, and Halo Infinite. Wow, it's just bust after bust there, huh? We wish her...
I would say, wasn't she responsible for like ODST and other stuff too?
No.
ODST would have been
Reach?
before then.
Yeah, ODST and Reach were Bungie.
Right, but she was still...
She was part of Microsoft Gaming. She was not part of 343.
Gotcha.
343 didn't exist yet.
No, I know, but I thought she was still
I mean, she might have been
part of that team.
She might have been a producer
She
or
may
something,
have
but...
worked. Yeah, she may have worked on them, but she wasn't like, hey,
In
that's
charge.
the boss.
She wasn't like creative head. Head of production Pierre Hentz will become studio head effective immediately. He's the guy who they hired, and he's the guy who whipped Master Chief Collection into shape after it launched broken. The 343 team is hard at work, and it's shipping the winter update, the biggest Halo Infinite update since launch. Boy, I'm sure that'll come sometime in 2025 at the rate they're going.
No, it'll come after Halo 6.
Oh, yeah. I think look, I think I said it last week or a couple weeks ago, where if I messed up this often at my job, all of us would have been long since fired if we mess up this often. So
you're saying that this is like she messed up and she's saying she's going to spend time with her family.
This was a graceful exit.
Yes, it seems like a graceful exit to me. They're replacing her role with her roles being broken down into 5 leadership positions. So at least there does seem to be some recognition on Microsoft's part of like, maybe this was too much for one person to handle.
Gotcha.
But she was also supposed to be here until the end of the winter update or whatever. Now she's leaving even earlier. I'm not saying there's not a family emergency, but the fact that she was leaving this year already does feel a little like maybe asking her to step down.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
When I read that, I kind of thought the same thing. I'm like, yeah, this is an accelerated, graceful exit.
I mean, it happened, like 6 days ago, and it's not, we just found out about it. I didn't even know about it until Zach told me about it over text.
Well, that's nuts to me.
Oh, yeah. This actually popped up on my Yahoo news feed.
Really?
I mean, Halo used to be the face of Xbox, and it's just been mid to bad for the past 15 years. Like, that's not good.
Well, I mean, when you look at her launch set.
Right, yeah. I mean, Master Chief Collection alone probably should have cost you your job in any real world. That game launched more broken than Cyberpunk. But
and we talked about Cyberpunk way more.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I wasn't here to complain when Master Chief Collection came out.
4 and 5, and then the Master Chief, and then Infinite still being broken.
Which sucks because Infinite has such a strong foundation. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love Infinite, but it has its problems.
Great.
Yeah, the campaign's great. I played a lot of the multiplayer, but it's a different world now. People expect you to kind of keep changing your game and stuff, and your Halo Infinite is stagnant.
And then allowing the Halo TV series to happen the way it did.
That's unbelievable. There is no...
I watched one episode.
I have still yet to watch any.
But hey...
You should watch the first episode just to see just to see the sounds and stuff. Actually, it was pretty cool.
I watched a clip of the opening fight or whatever. That looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I don't need to see Master Chief Benga, Covenant, Sleeper Agent.
Right.
I'm good.
I don't even remember what platform. Is that Paramount?
Yes. Yeah. Renewed for season 2.
Why?
I'm surprised.
I'm not. Everything is... We're just a bunch of consumers now. Consume.
We'll renew that, but like anything that's good on Netflix will get canceled.
Yeah.
It just feels like there's so much to consume.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's so much. Why is there...
But what does Paramount...
If something is mediocre, why does it keep going?
What does Paramount have besides Star Trek, though?
That's all they need.
I don't know. Didn't they have the Stand? Is that done?
Stand was FX. Wait, no. No, I'm thinking The Strain. Wow.
No.
I had a blip there in my brain.
Yeah.
Hey,
but anyway.
I think this, I think we got Joe Staten kind of leading the Infinite ship now, and there could be a brighter future ahead for Halo, but I can't believe what they've done over the past decade and a half with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood this weird strategy they had where it seemed like they expect you to read all the books and play all the spin-offs and listen to all the audio dramas and stuff to like keep up with the story.
Right. That bugged me as a person going into Infinite. I'm like, who's that?
Right. And then they give them the like total, badass entry cutscene where he defeats Chief. I'm like, how? Who is this guy? Oh, I didn't play Halo Wars 2. My mistake.
Oh man, actually, wouldn't have Halo Wars 2 would have been under her command too.
Yeah, that's true. But people generally like that, right? So hey, good for her.
Yeah.
What a win. But
a completely different game genre. And that was successful, but you couldn't make the original core gameplay.
Did anybody play it?
I'm not an RTS guy.
I did for like 10 minutes, and then I realized how much I don't like that style of game.
I loved Halo Wars 1, but I did not bother with 2.
I mean, that's on Game Pass now, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I was probably just so burned out on Halo at the time because they kept messing it up.
Yeah. I don't know. I had a really good time with 5. Maybe it's because I was playing online with people, and I love co-op games. I love going through campaigns with people, so maybe I just had rose-colored glasses on, but
the story pissed me off.
Yeah, Halo 5's got to be
because they did the bait and switch,
the
right?
worst Xbox game I've played in years. Not that they put out very many.
That's a fair point. CB, what story would you like to mention this week?
Well, I hate to do this, but I'm going to combine 2.
Okay.
Oh, that means
because I'm going to crap on one company and praise another.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this.
Yep.
I was so worried about doing that when I was putting together this format because I feel like we do it every week.
VR?
So
VR?
the bright spot on Sony's checklist that I was looking forward to just immediately got crapped on.
I couldn't believe this story when I read it.
This pisses me off to no end. PSVR 2, no backwards compatibility.
That is shocking.
We want to deliver the best next gen VR capability. Yeah, shut up, Sony. Get out of your own way.
It's just, I don't like, this is like when the PS4 couldn't play, PS2 games or whatever. I'm like, dude, you can put a PS2 on a calculator these days. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
They're like, oh, well, so the quote is PSVR 2 has much more advanced features like all new controller haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, inside out tracking, eye tracking, and 3D audio. So basically everything that the PSVR had, just a little better. This means that developing games for the PSVR 2 requires a whole different approach than the original PSVR. No, it doesn't. Shut up, Sony.
The PSVR didn't have eye tracking.
It had very poor eye tracking.
I have no idea.
I don't remember any what game had eye tracking?
If you went into the settings, like you could actually adapt it, like the pupil dilation crap.
For what?
But they just never really implemented it.
Okay.
But
I don't know. I can't speak to this.
Here's the problem. Like, none of the games on the PSVR would have trouble porting over to the PSVR 2.
I mean, my brain feels that way, but I'm also not a developer or porter or whatever you want to call it. I don't know how that works, but it just seems like just don't include those features.
Any of the games on the PS4, which is where the PSVR exists, should be able to be ported over, just like the PS4 games should be able to be ported over. I hate this stupid, we're committing to this, even though you've committed many dollars to our library.
But I mean, by that logic, wouldn't every game that comes to PSVR 2 have to have every one of these tick marks in their gameplay in order for it to be able to be playable on the PSVR 2?
Or what they're going to do, because Sony is infamous for it now, we're going to re-release this as a remaster and make you pay more for it.
That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, that is the reputation Sony has garnered for itself. Because to me, I don't know enough about the tech, but it does seem like, couldn't you just make it play on VR 2 without the added features or whatever? Because presumably it's got everything the VR had. But ultimately, I know that you're just doing this so you can sell me the same game for $40.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't plan on getting a PSVR 2, so I would be rebuying those games. But even if I did, I'm not going to buy Beat Saber again.
This actually made me mad enough that I actually almost contemplated selling my PS5.
Seriously?
Yeah, and you know how I feel about selling consoles.
Yeah.
This really pissed me off that much because I'm tired of it. Like, because then this is why I said I'm going to combine two stories, because then you have Xbox, Phil Spencer coming out saying, "Hey, guess what? We like our price points. We're not raising our prices."
Mm-hmm. Little Good Samaritan role.
Just
there,
good
taking
guy
advantage
Phil
of it.
Spencer.
I mean,
I hate to say this, but if Phil Spencer ever leaves Xbox, that is going to be the damnation of Xbox.
oh, I think if Phil Spencer leaves Xbox, the Game Pass is just going to become nothing but free to play style games where they can try to extract
Idiot
as much money.
Xbox games.
Or
yeah.
Games designed to make you spend money within the Game Pass ecosystem.
Right.
I mean, I really hope that the culture that he's been building there continues on. But when you have two huge rival companies, one who is determined to just crap all over their fan base and every gamer out there, and then the other one that's like, bro, we love everybody. Just let's play some games together.
Right. Well,
And
again,
then like on
Xbox.
top of that, the UK thing as well, where Sony praised the UK government for good job on making sure that we're going to be able to have Call of Duty.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later. But pretty hilarious that happened in the same week where they announced a bunch of PlayStation 5 exclusives from second party studios.
Yeah, I'm just like
exclusives ruin the industry. Anyway, Rise of the Ronin only available on PlayStation.
like I said, I've had every Sony console since the PS1, including all the handhelds. I want them to be good, but man, like this generation, it seems like every turn of the corner, they're just like giving me the middle finger over and over.
Yeah, again, I talked about ad nauseum, but it's just Xbox's marketing strategy seems to just be let PlayStation talk.
Yeah. And it's funny because I vaguely remember a couple weeks ago, wouldn't it be hilarious if Xbox came out and just did the whole Sony mic drop like that they did years ago with Sega? And lo and behold, here comes Phil Spencer. Yep, nope, not doing it.
No, I think it would be funny if they just came out and said $50 cheaper.
That would be awesome.
$450 and $250.
Honestly, give it a couple weeks. I'm willing to bet they might, because Black Friday coming, like Black Friday, I'm willing to bet Microsoft's going to be like, huge announcement. We're dropping our prices. PlayStation's like, huge announcement. We're raising them.
Dude, the Series S at $250 would clean up.
Seriously, and they're everywhere. Like you could find those. I see those on the shelf all the time.
I see them, but then I go back like 30 minutes later and they're gone.
Yeah, that's gonna. I've seen one PS5 in a Target. That was mind blowing. But it was gone by the time I returned from the toy section. But it was still crazy to see on
the Walmart right here near my house.
Well, yeah, it's back on the way out. I was like, is that thing? Did I really see this?
Yeah, it's like one of those like unicorns in the wild.
Yeah.
But no, the Walmart here next to my house. I was just there yesterday. There was a PS5, a Series X, and a Series S, all in the case. The Series S went first, then the X, and then an hour later the PS5 left.
Why are you spending so much time at Walmart?
Because my wife is pregnant. It takes her forever to walk through places. Well, she was formerly pregnant,
right.
Not pregnant now.
R.I.P.
Let's say, wow, that was quick.
But
CB.
Yeah, again. But Sony, just please stop making all of us so angry.
Well,
and Xbox, keep doing you.
I'm so confused about PlayStation. They say they believe in generations. You know, they believe in the hard line of console generations, and then they're putting God of War on PS4, but then they are actually seeming to cut off PSVR owners. I don't know. I just don't know what's going on over there. Mm-hmm. Jim Ryan's holding his controller like he's never seen one before.
And the fanboys still defend him.
Dude,
they can do no wrong.
And whenever you're like, Jim, what have you been playing? I've been playing the latest release, God of War Ragnarok, which pushes the PlayStation 5 to its technical limits. What?
Oh, really?
Why do you answer like a robot, dude?
If you're one of your like almost I would say like launch titles,
CB had a stroke.
Like, well, because I had to think about it. I'm like, oh god, this is like one of the first 10 like exclusives.
God of War?
Yeah.
I just think it's funny that they still haven't put out like a PS5 game.
Yeah, but they're like, but what you just said is like, it's pushing it to its technical limits. I'm like,
oh,
bro, it's early.
Well, he's just,
and you're already maxing out.
He talks like he's always shooting a commercial. Was my point.
I know,
Phil Spencer talks like a human being.
Right. To be fair, Reggie did that too.
And hey, you know what? Also, to be fair, Phil Spencer doing a lot of double talk in like the UK and Brazil and stuff, but he's trying to get through regulation, so I kind of don't blame the guy.
Right.
You know, like the stuff where they're like, man, there's nothing special about Call of Duty at all. I don't know what you're talking about. We're just paying $70 billion to buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's worth noting too, since we're talking about prices and stuff, this isn't the story that I'll be choosing, but Ubisoft's AAA games going to $70 as well, which
So
I don't know why people are surprised by this.
So let's murder Skull and Bones even harder.
I thought it already was 70, so I was more surprised that this hadn't already happened. But to CB's point, it's hysterical to the first game. They're rolling the dice with his Skull and Bones.
Yep.
Releasing
this game's going to sell terribly. Let's just kill it now.
This game that nobody has any enthusiasm for. We're going to release it alongside Sonic and God of War, and it's going to be $10 more.
To be fair, I do have some excitement for it, but not at $70, $60, or $50.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I don't know how big the game is, so I mean, I was expecting this game to be dropped to 40 before I saw it be raised to 70.
When I saw the, you can walk around an island, but it's only for cosmetics, I was like, there's no way they're charging full price for this thing, right?
Right.
Oh, this is a game, I'm not picking it up right away because I know Black Friday come, this is going to be 40 or less.
This is Ubisoft's Babylon's Fall.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to
drop
that
hard.
would be keep a sealed copy because that servers are going to go down and then it's going to be valuable.
Oh, I have sealed copies of games like EverQuest Online Adventures. They are worth nothing.
Yeah. Well, the story I really wanted to talk about is I didn't hear about it till this morning. I don't know when this happened.
I think it happened, while we slept.
Oh, is it overnight? So there's been a huge leak of all games Grand Theft Auto 6. Somebody with, I guess they had the word hacker in their name. I don't remember who it is, obviously. Posted 90 videos, about 3 gigs of data online with some early unfinished footage. It's weird watching it because it looks like total dev stuff, right? There's all this. Did you see it, Zach?
Yeah.
Or CB?
Oh,
it has all this. How this is all this text on it? Like it's like I don't know how game development works, but it obviously looked very early. Like the characters all looked like they were G.I. Joe figures or something. They just look very plastic.
Right.
But anyway, there is a scene with a woman named Lucia that is robbing a bank. So that was a big talking point is that there's going to be
well, that lines up with the leaks because they were female's character name was Lucia in the leaks.
Mm-hmm. And then she's seen riding on a train called the Vice City Metro. So there's been other rumors about it,
right? Being Vice City,
going back to the Vice City formula a little bit. So anyway, Take-Two has forced takedowns of the videos,
thereby confirming its validity.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
Jason Schreier has already confirmed that from an inside source.
I don't trust everything Jason Schreier says, but that's good.
Well,
I know you don't like the guy, but he's still pretty reliable. Yeah. I can't think of a time where he was just like dead wrong. Off the top of my head. Okay. Can you?
Trust me, I don't like the man as a human being either, but
look, I read his books. I like his books. Yeah, it's just I do not trust him on Twitter because he has a very obvious agenda at all times. And obviously, yes, a Grand Theft Auto leak is not. I'm just saying I don't take the man's word as gospel. He's not Jeff Grubb out here shooting 1 out of 10 and somehow getting a pass, but
right.
We're
going to talk about that. By you know what? I'm going to talk about that right now because that guy claimed that we were going to be getting remasters of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker at this last Direct.
This is the 4th time he's mentioned this.
And
at various times in the past few years.
It wasn't right. But people are publishing his story like it's fact.
Yeah.
Because he was right one time a long time ago.
Right. Well,
I don't know the guy personally. I just don't understand why people hear it. It's I don't know. I'm reading a book series by Terry Goodkind, and there's all these wizards rules. It's a fantasy story, and one of those rules is if someone wants to believe something is right, then they're going to just be all about it. And I feel like that's the way it is that's what journalism is now. People read a story that is something that they want to think is true, and they just say it's true.
Well, it's also Jeff Grubb versus Jason Schreier. One's a hype man, one's a hate man.
Yeah.
I should.
Anyway.
Yes, you're right. Jason Schreier is usually right. I just roll my eyes whenever I see him talk.
No, I understand. And he probably just blocked us on Twitter after hearing this. So.
Well, he unblocked me. The next time I review his book, he'll unblock me to see what I have to say again.
You know what? If he's listening to the show, that makes me happy then.
Yeah, totally make me happy. I'd love to talk to him, honestly.
I'd like to issue an apology. You know what? He is usually right. I saw the way he treated the Square Enix staff, which definitely rubbed me the wrong way at E3, and he's
no, I understand. There's a lot of things that he does that I don't like, but I still think he's one of the journalists with integrity in the industry, like that actually does journalism,
right?
As opposed to just like posting what he thinks.
He's just kind of a dick.
You said it, not me. Anyway, back to GTA 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, take two, force these takedowns of all the videos. The funny thing is this game is at least 2 years away. There's still a long way to go for this, but it looks like some of the source code has been leaked, which is kind of the bigger news with all this. Not only the source code for 6, but some of the source code for GTA 5.
Yo, I didn't see this. That's crazy.
That's not all.
Yeah?
The leaker / hacker said that he would be possibly releasing the source code for 5 and 6.
Right.
Who is this person?
Which
probably somebody who was on the team and got canned.
Which is just this is going to have such crazy repercussions because I mean, look how big GTA 5 was. Obviously GTA 6 is going to be a massive hit regardless of the quality, but this has got to be a PR nightmare for Take-Two right now. Because
if the source code gets leaked, that kills your game.
Well,
you have to start from scratch.
Even just think about how many dumb people are online, and like you can see it already. People going like, "Wow, this game looks like crap." It's like, yeah, man, this is how game development works. Know, but I don't know why I assumed that people who claim to love and breathe video games actually knew how they were made, but apparently they don't, and it's just a bunch of freaking idiots out there who are like, God, how could they show a game in this state? Well, they didn't, man. This is why they never tell you when they're making a game, because you guys all act weird about it.
Right. And they haven't even ever actually said that it was in development, did they? Or did they?
They did.
They've said that it's in development.
Right. Because they put it because they put out that because they talked about writing it, where they said that they didn't want to punch down as much and stuff.
Oh yeah, you're right. I remember that now.
Which doesn't sound like Grand Theft Auto, but to each their own. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine it'll be as bad as, or it can't be as sanitized as Saints Row, right? That would be insane.
I don't know. I feel like, again, with this happening just this morning, or overnight, like you said, I feel like this is going to be a huge story this week. Like there's going to be interesting tidbits about this coming out in the next couple days. Like probably by the time you guys hear this episode, there's going to be a lot more information already out about this, and we're going to be late to the party.
Take-Two forced the takedowns where I've initially. It sounds stupid. Where I initially saw the videos was on TikTok.
Yeah, so on Twitter. Yeah. They're just out there.
Yeah, like it's going to be hard to take it down from every source. Like this is going to be combed through hard.
Yeah,
I mean, how do you pull it? Because there's no way somebody didn't grab it.
No, of course.
You know what I mean?
Like it's out there permanently. Anytime something's on the internet, it's out there permanently, right? I'm more concerned, because Bungie went after the hackers for criminal stuff. I'm like, I bet Rockstar does more than just sue on this one.
Yeah, they're going to be calling somebody from within the game to a hit.
At least trying to put this person behind bars. It's hard for my heart to bleed too much for Rockstar, the biggest developer in the industry. But it does kind of suck a little bit, just because the odds are already stacked against you, because this is the first game you guys are making without the Housers. People, and I feel like people are largely aware that the same person who wrote all of the Grand Theft Autos and directed them is no longer at the studio. And then Leslie Benz, their big gameplay director for decades, is also gone. So this is a game where the people who have shepherded the franchise since its inception aren't attached to it.
I think you're overestimating how many people know the information that you just told us.
You're probably right. Yeah.
Because with the sheer number of copies of that game that have sold to minors, I mean, it's just
I guess
they don't care who made it.
allow me to spell like it already had it had an uphill PR battle, if that makes sense.
No, I get that, but at this point, with it being GTA 6, it doesn't matter.
No, of course, yeah.
The writing and everything,
It'll
because
sell
no matter what it is, it's going to sell
80 million copies in the first month or whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
Of course.
I mean, 5 did.
Right. Yeah, well, 5 is the best-selling game of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, yeah. Of course it's going to sell well. It's just,
right.
I feel like every article is going to be like, every article is going to mention that the houses aren't attached, is what I'm saying. Like, either way, yeah.
No, I got
I don't feel, now this will come up every time. It's like the Harry Potter game. That people keep mentioning that game director who had like a conservative YouTube channel. It's like, okay, well, he hasn't worked on it a year and a half, man. You don't have to mention it in every article.
Right.
You know?
That gets you clicks, though, man.
It does, absolutely.
That's the thing that sucks is, like, journalism is about sticking it to people and calling them out for stuff instead of, just giving some facts about what people actually
doing journalism.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that today's culture has become more acutely interested in learning about people's personal lives and what their political beliefs are than anything else, and that's why I stray away from that kind of stuff on this show, because I'm gonna talk about the games.
Do you think we should just start tweeting vague rumors and it'll drive interest in our site?
Maybe.
Maybe. It'll be like,
you can stop slapping my hand when I do it accidentally.
Metroid Prime 5 coming out next year.
Be like, yeah.
We don't even have Metroid Prime 4 was announced 5 years ago.
Oh no, they're pulling a Goat Simulator 3. Skipping 4, going straight to 5.
And then whenever we're wrong, we'll be like, yeah, I'm hearing from a big developer. I don't want to name names, but Daredevil game's on the way. And then when it doesn't happen, you're like, yeah, things change at the last minute. It's what I'm hearing. Just to walk yourself out.
Got reworked into another game.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, we're getting off on a total side tangent here, but I've never gone to journalism school. I don't know how to be a journalist. Like, how do you go about and develop context and get relationships with people that are in the know without, having that, especially in the technology era that we're in where everything is online.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you...
And what is the point of it if the audience doesn't care about your integrity or anything?
Let me tell you how this works. Sir, let me hand you this small 6-inch green colored note.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of a bummer, but anyway, GTA 6, that was a real interesting read this morning. I do want to mention very quick before we move on about the new games coming to Game Pass, which there's a whole list here. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but the big ones, that Metal Hellsinger, for some reason I didn't remember that was a Game Pass game. You're going to hear CB talk about that one shortly. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is now available on Game Pass. Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch remastered.
Oh,
I had no idea that was coming to Xbox.
That's a big one.
That is a big one,
dude! I can't believe Fuga Melodies of Steel. Wow. No, I
did not highlight that one.
No, I'm not being facetious. That game's supposed to be great.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I thought you were. And then Deathloop. I didn't even know Deathloop was like officially coming to Xbox, and they're like, "Oh, here, by the way, it's on Xbox. It's on Game Pass."
Surprise!
The Xbox game is finally getting taken off of PlayStation.
What's that?
Yeah,
Deathloop.
Well, Deathloop, they own it.
It's an Xbox property.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Oh, and who could forget DC League of Super Pets?
Yeah. You know what? That's a good Game Pass game because you can beat it in about 3 hours, and it's on rail. It'll be a little after. You just get some quick achievements, CB.
Believe me, it's already been downloaded.
Plus, CB, weren't you a big Grounded fan?
Yeah.
Like that 1.0 is finally coming on the 27th.
Yeah, I know. Finally getting here.
It's still shocks me that game hasn't been to 1.0. I feel like that's been 2 or 3 years that game's been in early access.
Is 1.0 meaningless at this point?
No, because they're adding in a lot more.
Okay, because Splitgate that was 1.0 last week is like, and we're done working on it now forever.
Well, before Grounded, it was like, oh yeah, here's the majority of the game. There's still more coming.
Fair
now you can leave the backyard.
Understood.
I like that game in concept, not in execution.
Plus, man, Fallout 76 Expeditions: The Pit.
Mm-hmm. I love those.
I might be jumping back in.
Thank you.
I've heard that. I think it was Nate that was telling us that that game is vastly different
Dude,
than it was when
it's
they launched
way
it.
different than when it launched.
So it's like a lot more like a traditional
It is.
Fallout game.
It's just
But again,
big.
See, this is
No
another
time.
reason I don't understand why the internet is mad, is accusing Grand Theft Auto 6 of like, oh man, it looks like crap. It's like, dude, every game launches half finished anyway.
right?
Grand Theft Auto 6 looks more complete than Cyberpunk did at launch.
In some ways, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But by the way, it also just looked like more Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
It looked like it controlled the same way, like just that awkward.
Yeah, but how are you going to
turning-
change that game formula?
But now you can wear a dress. So
Right.
And it's
You
going to
don't
be
need to change
in
the formula.
Miami.
Is the point. So, okay, let's go ahead and move on. Want to remind everybody about Patreon. If you'd like to help support the show, we really would appreciate it. You can head over to patreon.com/thegocast. Signing up at different levels can get you bonus content, so be sure to check that out. We do appreciate it, and we're going to go ahead now and jump into the new games that we've been playing. All right, Zach. I think we've officially hit busy season. It's
right,
the time is upon us.
I've been threatening it for weeks, but officially video games are coming out.
yeah. So what games am I going to have to be skipping this week?
We'll be starting out the week with Hard Space Shipbreaker on PS5 and Xbox Series console September 20th. As Scott noted,
Spencer reviewed that one for us on PC.
right. And as you referenced, it's on Game Pass.
Mhm.
Jack Move, a little indie JRPG, comes off of PC and onto PS4, Xbox One, and Switch September 20th.
Rel reviewed that one for us.
Solstice, which I am very excited for, comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC September 20th. Deathloop, as we mentioned before, is no longer a PlayStation exclusive Xbox made game as it comes to Xbox on September 20th. Gundam Evolution, it looks a lot like Overwatch, but with Gundams, comes to PC September 21st. Blood Waves, which looks like a fun little indie shoot the waves of bad guys shooter game, comes to Xbox Series console September 21st. No Place for Bravery makes its way to Switch and PC September 22nd. Serial Cleaners, where you can clean up some crime scenes, comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One and Switch, as well as PC September 22nd. Session Skate Sim comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One and PC September 22nd. Slime Rancher debuts as a Xbox exclusive on the Series X and PC September 22nd. Slime Rancher 2, I apologize. Electrician Simulator First Shock, which I put on here because you guys cannot get enough of your simulator games.
Apparently, I just there's a new one every couple months now.
I saw this and I'm like, yeah.
Coming to PC September 22nd. Square Enix's next random throw of the dartboard, the Diofield Chronicle, comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC September 22nd. And Shovel Knight Dig finally releases on PS4, Switch, PC, and iOS September 23rd. I believe on iOS that's an Apple Arcade game, if I remember correctly.
Oh, score.
So, Scott, what from this list will you not be skipping?
Well, I don't know. It depends on how much I get done this week. I've got a lot to catch up on, but I love me some Shovel Knight, and this one looks like it's a little. Although it's not a traditional Shovel Knight game, it's not that puzzle game that I played last time and did not review very highly because I just did not like that game, and they probably won't hook me up with a review copy for this one because of that. But I'm real interested in that, although it's not necessarily a brand new game. I'm really interested to go back into Deathloop. I played Deathloop on PS5, but it was one of those where we picked it up to try it out and then gave it away to the community. So I didn't get very much time with it. I'd like to really give that one an honest shake on Xbox. So I think I might be looking forward to that one even more because I really want to see I want to see the intricacies of that game a little bit more.
What about you, CB?
Slime Rancher 2.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out.
I played the crap out of the first one, so I'm kind of curious to see how they change the formula on that. But Deathloop, especially because I believe that's also coming to Game Pass.
It is. So, we just said it was.
Free. Well, I know, but free. Free speaks my language.
Yeah, definitely.
Outside that, those Serial Cleaners.
Serial.
Yeah, you clean up some murder sites and stuff.
Yeah.
Looks good.
You just finished Power Wash Simulator. You haven't got enough yet?
I mean, I don't really have a PC that can allow me to play Electrician Simulator, so I can't dive in there.
Right. There wasn't enough.
Got to wait till that one comes.
Wasn't enough intestines to clean up in Power Wash Simulator.
Nope.
And you, Zach?
Oh,
you already told us,
it's all
right?
about Solstice, man. This game, first of all, it's budget priced. It's linear. The game itself looks almost uncomfortably a ripoff of Berserk, but that's fine because we don't have really any good Berserk games. So that's great, but...
So you say Berserk, and I think of the Berserk on Atari 2600, and I know that's not what you're talking about.
No, I think of the Grim Dark Fantasy manga series that you would probably like a lot, Scott, because it's...
You've told me multiple times. I need to...
Which, I still like to pull out that Dreamcast game and show it to Zach every now and then.
Right, oh yeah, Sword of the Berserk, Guts Rage. Takes place in between a couple of manga. But this game, I don't know if you guys have seen any footage of it, like of it being just played. But it looks like God of War. I'm talking PS2 God of War. I'm talking static camera angles with the panning wide shots when you're climbing tall buildings and stuff. You know, the dodge rolls, everything like that. It looks like PS2 God of War, which is the God of War I prefer personally. So I'm pretty stoked for this game. Linear game, come on, man. We don't get those every day. I've seen footage of the upgrade system where it's just you just upgrade things like on a straight path, no little skill tree thing going on. Boy, it looks like a video game. I'm excited.
It's pretty sad that we get so excited about a budget title game that looks like a PS2 game. But I get it, man.
Well, they're gone. Yeah, they just don't exist. So yeah, you got to take them where you can. But yeah, I think it looks pretty darn great. I think it's an Italian developer as well, and I don't know how many Italian games I've played. So different little flavor going on there. So
yeah,
something exciting. But you guys been eating pizza left and right, from my understanding, right?
Yep.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga collection. Did you guys get a physical copy with a pizza coupon?
I ordered a physical Switch one.
Yeah.
Did it come with a pizza copy?
Yeah, they all.
I didn't even look in mine. I did get a physical copy, yes, but I did not look for a pizza coupon. But since it's going to be going to a community member, I will keep it in there and let them have the pizza coupon.
Oh no, you should use it and then leave it in there. So when they're like,
no,
this has already been redeemed.
I'm not gonna do.
You can write thank you on it. You know, hey, thanks for the coupon.
Thanks for the pizza.
But yeah,
I gotta do that drawing. By the way, I think I was supposed to do that drawing on Friday.
Get the pizza and put the pizza in it.
It's disgusting.
There you go.
What was the first game in the Cowabunga collection you guys played? I assume you played it together.
The arcade. Nope.
No, we didn't play it together.
I'm shocked to hear this. You guys are, whoa, sorry about that.
The arcade, like the original 4-player arcade game. Played it, beat it, loved it.
Okay.
I played that one so many times. I decided I wanted to try something I hadn't played in a long time, so I jumped into the Game Boy game. Was it the Fall of the Foot Clan?
Yeah. One of the 3 Game Boy games on here?
Yeah, there's 3 of them, and they all play crazy different. But I remember having really good memories of Fall of the Foot Clan, and that game is super basic, man. There's not too much going on in that game, and it's more or less just left to right, and then the enemies come at you from either the left or the right on the way. You jump over some obstacles, and that's pretty much it.
Well, the Game Boy only had 2 buttons, right?
Right, but I mean, there were also really high quality games on the Game Boy too. There were some really good ones. This was like a licensed cash grab. I seriously have really good memories of that being a legit good game, and I just did not think it was that good of a game this time around.
The rose-colored glasses.
It seriously was. The interesting thing is there's 5 stages in that game.
Yeah.
And they do the thing that they do in the original Ninja Turtles game on NES, where if you die, that you just don't have that turtle available unless you I think in the original NES game, couldn't you rescue them to get them back or something?
There was power-ups.
Yeah. But in this one, you lose a turtle, they're just dead for the rest of the game. So the goal is to get through all 5 stages without losing all 4 turtles. Which was interesting, but man, I haven't played a Game Boy game in a long time, and seeing a Game Boy game
on a 4K TV.
On a 4K TV that's 60 inches is wow, that game looks pretty rough. I mean, compared when we were a kid, obviously we were looking at it in a little Yeah, tiny green screen.
150 pixel by 150 pixel.
Yeah,
nothing screen.
And you had to like adjust it just to get the light right. So it's very nice just to be able to have it on there. But I still had fun with it. That game has a lot more secrets in it than I knew. But one of my favorite things about this just collection in general, and I don't know if you picked up on this, CB, there is a ton of like nostalgia stuff in here.
Oh yeah,
it's really impressive. I feel like they're not selling this enough.
I'm not liking the reworked theme song.
Well, no, the one for Shredder's Revenge was also reworked, and it was close, but not quite.
Yeah, it just doesn't hit.
Yeah, there's just something that's just a little bit off. It's there, but makes you want to kind of just go pull up YouTube and like listen to the original. The
best way I can describe it is it's the first time in my life I've had an audio version of the Uncanny Valley experience.
Oh yeah,
where you're just like, this is disconcerting. Why does this bother me so much?
Like, is that what it sounded like? And I just remember it better, or is this?
I wouldn't grab the DVD. I popped in and I'm like, nope. Okay, yep, they reworked it. It's making me mad.
No, but they do this really cool thing. Like, it's almost like when you would get like a Nintendo Power magazine or an EGM magazine or whatever, and they have a little section on like tips and tricks for the game. They have one of those for each of the games in this collection. That is almost done like in a comic book style panel, like, and it's all like this, quirky, quippy way that they describe it, like they would do in magazines with a little caption under the picture.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool, and you can just kind of zoom in on it and go through it at your own pace wherever you want to. It's legit awesome. Like I feel like I'm spending more time doing that than playing the game, just going to see what they've got available.
Reading
for
a virtual
game.
magazine. It'd be
Yeah,
funny.
it's just one page for each game, but I wanted to go through and look at it, and it's almost like getting the hint book included with the game instead of having to go buy the extra hint book. I don't know. Thought it was really cool.
I got to finally experience something that I've waited 15 years to do.
What's that?
Play a good Halo game?
Nope. Make my son play the original TMNT from NES.
Oh, really? How did that go?
Ooh, you want to watch Rage Quit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've never watched somebody get so... It was almost like watching when I made you play Dragon Slayer.
Okay.
You were like, just getting so frustrated.
Well, there's like no rhyme or reason if you've never that game was designed to take your quarters to make you go and memorize the process. I can't play a game if I haven't memorized it.
But the NES Ninja Turtles game, the first one, oh, just the rage though.
Did he even get to the underwater section in level 2?
No.
Yeah.
No, because it still does the screen shift, and every now and then, like when you're walking through the streets, and all of a sudden the Foot Clan's vehicle's there and just runs you over. He's like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, you're ninjas. Stay in the sewer. Be hidden.
I actually have that song from that game like in my head now, which was like the 8-bit chip song from that game. That just it does not belong in a Ninja Turtles game. It does not sound, it just sounds like upbeat and
believe me, I'm gonna run through, because I could probably run through without dying and get to the underwater stage, and then make him do that and just literally watch him lose his mind.
Why do you enjoy watching people just have a miserable experience with games? It's like you get off on that somehow.
Because you are having a miserable experience doesn't mean I am.
It's just very bizarre to me. Very bizarre. But I'm not gonna hang on to my copy because I'm giving it away to the community, but I wanted to have a shot to play it before we did. So I'll probably come over, because this, those games are so much more fun when they're the multiplayer ones that you can play with somebody, right?
Especially because AJ and I sat down and played the arcade one.
Yeah.
And it holds up.
And you were Mike, right? Michelangelo?
When I played through it, the first time I played through was Raph.
Did you? Okay.
Is Mikey your go-to turtle, CB?
Oh, Mikey's always my go-to.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's Mikey, Raph, Donnie, then Leo.
It's weird. It's weird that you have Leo on the bottom, considering he's the best. But
yeah, that's my favorite as well. And Donatello's second, then Mikey, then Raph.
But I play in order of my favorite turtle. So, because Mikey's the best.
I think Mikey's he would be my number 4. I think Leo,
Get
Raph,
out.
Donatello, Mikey.
Wow.
See, I love like the theory behind the Ninja Turtles, where like their weapons are actually a polar opposite of their personalities.
Right. Well, I think the both have School's weapon.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's got the best reach in the games.
yeah. Well, I feel like it's just it's a different skill set than the other guys.
I just don't buy to do that much damage with size.
I mean, real size can stab you.
I know. If you're close.
True. But you're a martial artist. You're designed to be close.
Right. We're turning this into a whole other conversation,
Yep.
but I am looking forward to trying out some of the others. I've never played like the Tournament Fighters games at all.
Dude, it's bad. It's
Are
real
they bad? Okay, well maybe I won't check.
But it's
those
cool
out
if they're
then,
there.
It's
Right.
yeah. If you've never played them before, give it a whirl.
Yeah.
But they're not. The Super Nintendo one was fixed quite a bit. The Nintendo one is awful.
Yeah. I own a physical copy of that one, but CB, I want to talk to you about Metal Hellsinger because I played the demo and I thought it was great. And I was so sad on our text message conversation that we had earlier this week that you like hate this game. I'm shocked.
I hate this game for a stupid reason.
Okay.
I
you suck
don't.
at it?
No, it's not that I suck at it, because like I beat the boss on like the first boss on like my second attempt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how it's implemented. Because it's a Guitar Hero game without Guitar Hero stuff.
Mm-hmm. But you like shooters.
I do like shooters, but if I'm going to play a shooter, I'm going to play a shooter. Like, to me, like, this is like, but pistol whipped. Like, pistol whip.
Yeah.
Pistol whip works great because of the way it's designed. It is a rail shooter that you shoot and beat to.
Yeah.
This is a game where you're like, cool, shoot and beat. But at the same time, move and dodge all around while you have enemies coming at you from every single direction. And it's harder than it needs to be.
It is tough.
Like way harder than it needs to be, especially when I log into a game and the first thing is like, we're gonna calibrate your video. Cool, your video is calibrated. Now we're gonna calibrate your audio. Cool. Now that that's done, we're gonna calibrate them again together. Okay, cool. You think you got it? All right, go play the game. I was like, that's irritating.
Why is that irritating?
Because if it's just off the tiniest bit, you're going to suck. A lot.
Maybe you just don't have rhythm, man.
No, because after a while I finally started getting like, okay, because the audio lag is a problem.
Okay. I didn't have that issue with the demo.
Yeah, I did with the game though. Like the
Yeah.
actual game, like it is a problem.
But you
Because-
didn't like enjoy like the slow ramp up to the full release of the song, like when the vocals kick in and you're
I got there, but that's the problem. It's like you want me to have the beat and everything, and then every single time you're changing the song a fair amount, actually. Because
yeah.
at first it's just like, oh yeah, just the kick drum. I'm like, okay, cool, I got the beat. Okay, cool, I made some shots. All right, completely changed the song by adding in a bunch more stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting back into it.
You're still on the
X
quarter
step
note
again.
beats though. You're not having to do like 16th notes.
But
or
when you
anything
hit,
like that.
when you get hit, it like staggers it a little. So then you got to get your rhythm back,
Right.
which is irritating, especially when you're fighting 14 enemies at once.
Man, I'm gonna have to go back and actually download the full game and try it again, because see if I still like it. Because I feel like I would still like it.
You'll still like it because, like I said, after a while, I finally started getting into a rhythm where I'm like, okay, yeah, I took a hit, but I'm getting back into it.
Did you find that the bosses had, like I did on the demo, the bosses just like their health bar was just entirely too large?
Yes, way too large.
I really wish they had fixed that before they finally release it, because to the point that it just wasn't fun. I was just doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah,
to get
like
through the boss fight.
once you find that pattern,
Yeah.
you're just like, yep, moving around.
Yeah.
Cool, you threw some ads at me. I love the story setup where like you're this the unknown being who's fighting back to like reclaim her voice.
Right.
Like the story to me is awesome.
And Troy Baker,
yeah,
voice actor, right?
He's the voice of a weapon.
Ah, okay.
But it's just a little off-putting, like how hard this game is trying to be. I want to like it more. I'm not giving up on this game yet. It's just the difficulty curve is hard. Like the learning curve is very hard for this.
Ah, okay.
So there's going to be a lot of people that
at it.
I'm used to playing Guitar Hero games like Guitar Hero games.
Where you're focusing just on the rhythm part of it, not the rhythm and shooting at the same time.
To me, this would be like handing somebody a Guitar Hero game and immediately cranking it to the hardest setting and being like, play. Why are you sucking? Because
I just didn't find it that difficult.
The damage cranks up when you start getting those consecutive hits.
Right.
And again, when you stagger and there's too many ads too early on.
Says the guy that loves shmup games, that when you get damaged and you lose all of your power-ups and to start all over again and get your rhythm again, only to be bombarded by 15 enemies right away.
But I'm playing a shmup where it's a two-dimensional plane that I am limited on the space that I can move. Where this it's a three-dimensional environment,
right?
That I'm having to dodge things from all kinds of angles. Meanwhile, jumping, aiming, and shooting, but keeping the beat at the same time.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm gonna play the real game. I'm gonna play the full game now.
I want to play it right next to you and just watch you get frustrated.
Convince Zach to do it too, so he can I
mean, it's free.
Yeah, famous for my rhythm.
Yeah, but dude, like I felt like I kind of sold you on this game when I played the demo. Like they do enough different to make it cool.
I'm not saying like I completely hate this game.
Yeah,
I haven't given up on it yet.
That was your review.
I do that on a few games, and then later on, then I'm like, okay, it finally clicked. But this one, like, I just feel the difficulty curve is a little too high too early.
All right, fair enough. I would love to hear what everybody else thinks about this one too. I'm not, and I sound like I'm over defending it. I haven't even played the damn game. I just played the demo for like an hour or whatever, but I would like to hear what everybody else thinks of it.
Love the story. I'm going to keep playing it because I want to know what happens.
Yeah.
Just Doom with rhythm.
I mean, that's kind of what Doom was, right? I mean, you didn't have to do it and be with the rhythm or anything, but you got into a rhythm in Doom, didn't you?
Yeah, it depends on how you play. Give me a shotgun and go.
I was going to say, you're very much a tank character.
Again, that's why this game just does not work for me.
Yeah. Because you can't be a tank.
Nope.
I can't be a sniper, and I still like it.
You can be a sniper, by the way.
Well, CB, it's been established that you suck at rhythm games, but do you also suck at parking?
No, I do not suck at parking. But yeah, so I've been playing You Suck at Parking, which is way different than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I watched the trailer for this, and I feel like this needs to be a community game night. We need to bring back community game night of this game.
Doubt. This game is great, man.
Yeah.
Because this ticks all the perfect boxes for a community game.
Well, tell everybody what it is first, because even watching the trailer, I still am not 100% certain how it works.
I thought it was some kind of car puzzle game.
It's a community racing strategy game, I guess.
That makes no sense. Go on.
Believe me, I will do my best to explain how this works. Oh, community racing strategy puzzle game.
Okay.
So you play as a guy who apparently sucks at parking. So does everybody else on the map. So they're individualized maps that are played in rounds. Everybody starts at a starting line, and you have to race to the parking spots that are randomly around the map.
But I thought you said it was cooperative. You're racing against the other people.
No, this is not cooperative.
Okay.
This is anything but.
Yeah, he said communal or something. Community.
Oh, okay, I misinterpreted.
Community game. perfect communal game. So you are racing to a spot, and the first one to park at all the spots wins.
Okay.
Here's the problem. Your car is kind of a jalopy. So it's all gas, and the moment you hit the brake, you can feather the brake, but the moment you stop, you die and you have to start again.
Oh man!
Wait,
you're like
so if you
shark.
come to a full complete stop, you die.
You're done. If the only place that you can come to a full complete stop on is an individual parking spot, anything out there, start the course over again.
So can you feather the brake at least?
You can feather it a little, but the problem is if you feather it too much and you spin out or hit something and come to a full stop, start over.
Right. So it's a risky move to brake.
Yeah.
But the gas is always on.
Yeah. You have to hold it down. But
okay. So it's not okay. So no, it's not always on.
No. So you tend to feather more with the gas pedal than you do the brake pedal.
Okay, that makes sense.
But here's the thing. So it's multi-tiered, and there's jumps and portals and hazards.
Well, and to be clear, it's 3-dimensional, right? It's got that isometric. I mean, it's not in 3D. You're not doing it from the perspective of the
it's
vehicle.
like a 3/4 isometric. So you can see immediately around you.
It reminds me of RC Pro-Am. Remember that on the NES?
Yeah. But RC Pro-Am, you could see the actual track too.
Right.
You can't see the track. So sometimes you can see the track immediately around you.
Well, that's
so you can't see there's no mini map with the full track.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And the reason why is when it gives you a very quick pan shot of the track,
mm-hmm.
and it doesn't show you where all the parking spots are, so you have to find them too.
So it's a not hide and seek game, but it's like a capture the flag type game situation.
That's almost. What I'm saying. This, it's really hard to explain how this game is because it's racing, puzzle, strategy,
Marble Madness almost. It sounds like too.
And you can hit the other people too.
Okay. There's no weapons or anything though?
Nope, no weapons.
So it's just more of a defensive, get them out of the way kind of situation.
Oh yeah. If you know, most of the maps have between 8 and 10 parking spots.
Okay.
And you can see the guy next to you, he's already hit 7 of them. You could just badger the crap out of him.
And
how many
people can play at once?
8.
8?
8.
Oh my god. We have to do this.
This is a game that qualifies as full on banana sandwich.
Yeah, I think we need to just go ahead and plan. Are you a Friday night game night?
I love this game. And there's a solo campaign and a multiplayer campaign.
Wait, the solo campaign?
Well, I mean not campaign, but there's a multiplayer function. The campaign is basically so you kind of learn how this goes.
All right.
But the multiplayer, man, is where it's at. How you love Killer Queen Black.
Yeah.
That is my love for this game.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah.
Now, were you playing with people then, or just randos?
Just online? Randos.
Okay.
Just randos.
I was
having a blast.
I'm gonna put that together as soon as we're done recording. I'm gonna go see if we can't get some interested people to come play on Friday, because that sounds like a blast.
Again, free on Game Pass.
Yeah. Free on Game Pass. Plus, they just integrated. I don't know if you saw this week. We should talk
Discord.
about it in the news. Discord is now integrated into Xbox.
Yeah.
So we can actually I don't even have to hook up my phone and my earbud anymore. I can just do it right through my headset, and we can all be in a Discord server together. But
yeah, anybody, it's a small download. I recommend it because this game can be super fun. Even couch co-op, just pass the controller. You failed. Pass it to your friend.
All right.
This game is perfect for just a quick, easy, fun little game.
All right, you sold me, man. You sold me. Zach, you in on this?
Sure. Although now that you said Killer Queen Black, I just want to play that.
Yeah. Go back and do that too. We were playing that for a little bit.
Love that.
Try this, man. I'm not kidding.
It sounds fun. Yeah.
Speaking of online, do we all have the Nintendo online membership? I can't remember.
Do we all have it together? Are we a family?
We are a
I
family.
can't remember. We should do a Mario Kart
or GoldenEye
one night because
I was about to say, what are you talking about when I get to smash you in GoldenEye?
That's a good point too.
We could
that's only...
remember what it's like to not aim with an analog stick.
Well, I mean, we're going to aim with an analog stick now, aren't we?
Not on the Switch version.
Oh, man.
So it's just the Nintendo 64 version emulated.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to change the controls. I can't remember which control scheme I used, but I used the one where you would like move forward and strafe with the buttons, the C buttons.
That's the way to do it, yeah.
No, C is the setting type that you want.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, You Suck at Parking sounds like a must play. We need to.
Dude, it's a blast and a half.
I would love to get like a couple groups going where if we could get like 16 people to come play this game with us and just do 2 groups, that'd be awesome. So if you were hearing this, set aside Friday night. I'm gonna play You Suck at Parking with everybody. Let's do it. Okay, got one other review I want to share with you guys before we move on to our topic of the week. David Newman has already done his second review for us. He stopped by to talk about a game that he played on Switch. So I'm going to play that for you right now. I'm here with Mr. David Newman once again. What's up, David?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me back on here.
Yeah, dude. You got your first review with the Gaming Outsider under your belt, and you just did another one like 3 days later. So that's you're off to a good start, man.
Yeah, it helps when you play kind of a shorter game on the second one, though.
Yeah, I know. You told me via text that this one was like, what, about a couple hours long?
So this game... so it's The Dark Prophecy by Start Warp, which, if I'm understanding correctly, is only their third game that they've made. And this was actually previously released on Steam. And I think it was full release back in February, but it had been early access in 2021. And I don't know if you do this, but I'm a person that likes to go on the site How Long to Beat.
Yes, all the time.
And so, like, I looked it up, but I was like, oh, it's like they say it's like 2.5 hours. I was like, okay, that's actually perfect. I kind of just wanted a short little point-click adventure game, because that's what this is. Yeah, it did take me a couple hours to beat, but I will say that the game, if you know what you're doing, is probably only 20 to 30 minutes.
Holy cow. That's crazy. Especially for a point-and-click adventure, because I feel like most of the ones I played when I was a kid took a good amount of time to get through. There was lots of puzzles, lots of story. So shocking that this one's only 2 hours or sub 2 hours.
And it's unfortunate because I actually feel like there's some background context to this story or not background context, but there's some extra little side stuff that you kind of hit upon to like get through to the main story that never fully fleshes out.
Okay.
Like, quick example, like you meet this witch in the town, and she locks up another witch and everything, but it never really delves into it. It's just like this other witch is like, I was a bad person, and so she locked me up. That's all it was.
Oh.
And it was
you want to know a little bit more background story for that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little like, it was like, okay, that, there's some intrigue here, but I just not getting the full-fledged story out of it. It feels, honestly, it feels like this game is unfinished almost. It's almost like this. There's either supposed to be another game, or they were supposed to continue with it and just didn't have the funding for it.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure, but it feels like it just isn't quite finished.
Well, let's back up just a hair, because I do want to know what the story is here. It's called The Dark Prophecy, like you said. And also want to give a shout out to PR Hound for hooking you up with a review copy for this game to check it out. Oh, no, what's it about? What's the story?
Essentially, you're a kid who sitting by a lake, sees these bubbles come up, and it's a water projection of a wizard. And he says, your whole goal is to go and tell the town wizard Merlin that Prophecy 13 has begun. You don't know what Prophecy 13 is, but that's your whole goal, is you need to tell Merlin that Prophecy 13 has begun.
Gotcha.
And so the idea is to solve some puzzles that end up getting you there. There's obviously some twists and turns involved with it that prevents you from getting in there.
Now, obviously, you're not playing this on a PC. You played this on Switch. And, when I think point and click, I think point and click, not point and press. So how did it feel playing a game like this with the joystick? I mean, I've done it before with the Monkey Island games that they ported over to Xbox and whatnot. But how did it do on the Switch?
It did actually pretty well. So it essentially you move the joystick around, and that like is your cursor, and then there's 3 actions you can do. You can there's 4 actions. You can either click it, and it brings you over to the thing.
Right.
You
move.
can you can move. Yep. You can either use it, look at it, or talk to it. And depending on what it is, you can either do one of those 3 things with it. A lot of the times you'll try to like press use it and it'll be like, I can't do anything with that.
Oh yeah, that's standard point and click adventure.
And it's been a long time since I played a point and click adventure. So it was interesting to get back into it.
Now I know you said that this is a pretty short one, but I mean, did you have fun with it? Was it enjoyable, or let me rephrase? Did it leave you wanting more? I know you said it felt almost like it was unfinished, but did it at least leave you wanting to play more?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Just to be honest, I think I don't want to like say that this is what the game is meant for, but it did feel like it was more for a child. Just kind of the way that the characters interacted. It was almost like holding your hand as you talked. So like an example that I have is you're talking to a troll, and like you click on the troll, it says troll over it, and one of the first dialogue options is you're a troll, right? And it's like, okay. Did we really need that?
Right. Also, so it almost sounds like a gateway point and click adventure, like a kids first point and click adventure to get them into later ones.
I think that's fair, and I think that's fair. The only problem that I will say is most of the puzzles are also not very intuitive. And again, another example is you have to create a soup at some point in the game. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You're essentially creating a soup with 4 different ingredients, and you have to choose, and you can have to do the same ingredient multiple times, but you have to do it in the right order. And it doesn't tell you how many times that ingredient goes in. It doesn't tell you how many times. It's just trial and error. So it didn't feel very intuitive to me.
Gotcha. Yeah, that doesn't sound too great. Well, thanks for checking it out, man. I do appreciate it. Again, that's The Dark Prophecy. It sounds like maybe not one that you'd recommend for hardcore point-and-click enthusiasts, but maybe if you want to get a kid into it.
It is $10. I will say, even for that, even to get your kid into it, you might want to wait on a sale on it.
Okay.
Just to be honest. Or if you're like, I don't know what the achievements are because I played it on Switch, but it is also available on Xbox and PlayStation, so it probably is easy achievement points for you.
All right, CB just perked up a little bit. So.
Yeah.
All right, David. Well, thanks again. And one thing we didn't mention last time you were on here, we didn't give you an opportunity to talk about your show. You want to tell everybody real quick about your podcast?
Yeah. So I am actually starting up a new podcast called Keeping It Mediocre at Best. We don't have a release date for it, but you will be able to find us hopefully here soon on any of the streaming services that you listen to. So
sound good. All right, dude. Well, thanks again for stopping by. Looking forward to reading the written review here in the next few days.
All right. Thanks, Scott.
All right. Catch you later, man.
Bye.
Thank you, David. And moving on, I want to remind everybody about our social media outlets, facebook.com/groups/the GoCast. If you'd like to join an awesome community and keep up to date with all we do here on the Go, as well as anything in the industry that I can get my hands on, head over to that website. And also got some new members to say hello to, Mr. Ben Wick, Ryan Estwing, and Charlie Brown. Not making that up. That's his actual name. And a special shout out to Ben. I actually have been talking to him on Facebook, and we're actually now texting. I met him because he was looking to purchase one of the Pokemon games that we were selling from the shop, and he purchased it from me, and we've been chatting back and forth and told him about the show. So welcome, Ben. Hope to meet you in person one day. Also, Discord. We've got a server that you can find a link for in the show notes for this very episode. Would love it if you check that out. We got a growing community there as well. Also, drop us a review. We really would appreciate that. It helps us get the word out. And lastly, our website is thegamingoutsider.com. You can find all of our episodes and all of our written content there, including some new reviews that dropped this week. Rel did a review for The Wandering Village. It's actually a video, let's play or playthrough of the game. Alyssa's review of Kaichu, the Kaiju dating sim, is up. And then David's review of The Dark Prophecy, which you just heard about, is also available on the website. So please check that out. Again, the website is thegamingoutsider.com. With that, let's go ahead and jump into this week's From the Outside In topic. This week, we decided to dedicate our From the Outside In topic to Sony's State of Play stream and Nintendo's latest Direct. So let's just get right into it. We're going to start with Nintendo. We probably should have discussed this beforehand. I don't want to read through every single line item on here because there's a lot of announcements made. But, especially, man, this list is huge. I'm just going through and looking at it again. There's so much to talk about here.
I'm sure we don't have something to say on any of them. So if you just name them and we don't have anything to say, wouldn't you just say the next thing?
Okay. We can do that then. So let's start right off the top. These are not the order that they were shown, but the big reveal was The Legend of Zelda. And I don't even know how to pronounce it. Is it Tears of the Kingdom or Tears of the Kingdom?
Well,
I want to say Tears.
It's probably a double entendre because the Sky Islands are probably the kingdom torn apart, right?
Right.
So it's probably
either way.
But I think it's Tears of the Kingdom, and I think that's why they didn't have the stream in the UK.
Yeah. Either way, nobody cares. Moving on.
Nobody cares about the new Legend of Zelda game?
I have to take shots at you. So.
I mean...
Hey,
we are talking about the Zelda game that is the sequel to the one with the worst ending boss fight, correct?
Right.
Yes.
This is Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
Got a real... But surprisingly, this game is coming out in May of 2023.
Why is that surprising?
That just seems like a Christmas release to me.
No.
Remember it was targeting 2022.
No, I know. But, I guess, the last one came out, in February?
Yeah, it's Nintendo. Yeah. They can just kind of decide.
Yeah,
that's true.
You know what? I'm willing to bet this game's going to sell like gangbusters.
And you know what? Hopefully there won't be a lot coming out in May. We could just all put 200 hours into Zelda.
That's what I'm hoping. Like, man, that's going to be right start of summer. I can just dedicate the beginning of my summer to Zelda.
Yeah,
maybe Nintendo is the first one to actually listen to us and say, hey, maybe we should release a game just before kids go on summer break.
Yeah. And the kids do that. There were kids, I think Christie's kids were doing all the Korok seeds or something like that. It's just insane how much time they put into the original Breath of the Wild.
Sounds miserable. Yeah,
I had no desire to do that.
I don't feel like this trailer gave us anything new at all.
No, it really didn't.
But
other than you're going to be in the sky.
Right. Which, you know what? I'm having a little PTSD of playing Skyward Sword last year.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the sky, and apparently there's going to be a new ability with a crane-like mechanic.
Right. Get you up and down, presumably. I don't know. I think it looks cool.
I'm excited it's coming out that soon. I said I expected it at Christmas, but I'm glad it's not going to be till Christmas. Summer is perfect.
Right, maybe you'll actually let yourself play video games during the summer.
Maybe.
No, he'll play with his yard.
Yep.
I'll chop wood, just try to earn money for more NES collection games. Someday I'm going to finish it, man. Someday.
4 years from now.
I saw one of the games I need on my list. Somebody found it at a mom and pop shop. I think it was Kid Clown, and it was $750. I'm just like, stop.
Yep.
Let me catch up. It sucks. Anyway, moving on. Fire Emblem Engage coming out on January 20th. Pikmin 4. Never played a Pikmin game for more than an hour.
I'm happy for Miyamoto. He seems like he's having a good time. He's wearing the shirt. I've never played a Pikmin game in my life.
Yeah, they don't do anything for me. They're adorable, but the big news for me was a bunch of new N64 games coming to Nintendo Online. Especially the announcement of GoldenEye finally coming to Nintendo Switch Online, which is a game that we've all wanted to play together for quite a while, I think, right? In fact, Sean Coates wrote in on Facebook and said, I didn't watch either one, referring to Sony and Nintendo. So why am I commenting? Because of one announcement that's been dominating my brain lately. James Bond. I know the release structure is the opposite of straightforward, but this is the best the lawyers and negotiators could do to finally get this game released. I know that the biggest hang-up for most gamers is that online play isn't coming to all supported platforms. I'm willing to bet certain vital parts of my anatomy that it was Nintendo who were the biggest holdouts all these years, and them getting online exclusivity is what brought this over to the finish line. It's a complicated affair involving not just 2, but 3 parties, Nintendo, Rare/Microsoft, and the Bond producers at EON. Although I'm sure they couldn't care less as they're a little preoccupied trying to find the next James Bond. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I will step down from the lectern now. So yes, like we mentioned earlier, the Switch version is going to be just a direct port of the N64 game, right? Just like all the other games on N64 have been. It will have online functionality, though, which would be wild playing that game without the 4 windows.
I know.
At least I hope they don't make you do that.
That'd be kind of funny, though, because then it would really take you back to the screen cheating days.
Yeah. It would be cool if you had the option.
Yeah,
right?
That'd be cool.
If you could turn it on or off, because, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if it's a straight port, a straight emulator port, it should.
It would be cool. I mean, you didn't have that option in the original game, is my point.
Oh.
There was no online. So.
How funny will it, though, to be like online, you have the 4 boxes, you won't know which one of your friends is the ones.
No, see, what I want everybody to do is put it in 4-player mode on one screen, and then everybody takes Post-it notes and just covers up every other square.
Right.
Let's do it like old school.
The honor system.
Total honor system. And you're playing on like this tiny little square in the corner of your Switch.
Did you ever see the cardboard one?
Yeah,
where they like taped the cross cardboard.
Yep.
Yeah, and put it there.
We did that.
Yeah, it was the only way to not cheat. I was so excited about this. I actually texted my brother and talked to my stepdad about this, who I used to play GoldenEye with when we were kids. And I'm not joking. Neither of them play a ton of games. My stepdad doesn't play at all anymore. And when I told him this news, he was so excited. He said he was going to go buy a Switch because he wanted to play online with us and do this.
That's amazing. So, wow.
Yeah, this one, because we played this a lot back in the day. That was some good times.
The game back in the day. And not for nothing, it does have a pretty good campaign too.
Oh, dude, I love that campaign. I can't remember if I finished it on 007 difficulty, but I got close. That game is hard.
I love
hard.
The train mission.
Train mission was great. Where you have to like take your watch and cut out the bottom of it at the end of it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That was really cool. It was tough.
Yeah, it does. It does suck that the Xbox doesn't have the online multiplayer, but at least it'll look pretty.
It will look pretty, and that's the thing and the cool thing about that. And I know this wasn't announced at Nintendo; they just announced the N64 games coming to Nintendo Switch Online, but Microsoft took it upon itself to say, "Hey, by the way, this is also coming to Xbox, and it's coming to Game Pass, so we also don't have to pay extra for this one." But like you mentioned, it's not going to have the online functionality, but that's where we're going to play the campaign. That's where we're going to play the campaign.
Do you think
or the 4-player couch co-op?
Yeah, dude, we could do 4.
Yeah, well, I can't. Do you think Pierce Brosnan has to give the okay?
I don't know how that works. I don't know how licensing works.
Because when they remade it, they put Daniel Craig in his role. When they remade it on the Wii or whatever. No.
Well, that was also on Xbox.
Yeah, it came later. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When it was 007 Reloaded. But,
and it wasn't as good. It just didn't have the same charm.
The Call of Duty did.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I know that there's even like a stipulation in Pierce Brosnan's contract that said that he's not allowed to wear a tuxedo in any other movie ever again.
That makes sense.
Because if you saw him in a tuxedo, you would
assume
there's Bond.
Yeah. It would be an immediate Bond reference.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I know a lot of studios just kind of like own what you look like at that age or whatever. Like Lucasfilm just owns Carrie Fisher at 22.
Right.
So I'm sure that...
that sounds creepy when you say it that way.
Well, it is creepy. It's creepy they can just resurrect somebody from the dead via CGI as well, like with Tarkin, but, it happens.
It does happen.
But Yeah, so I'm sure he doesn't have a say. It was just always weird to me that Craig was in the GoldenEye remake.
It didn't. Yeah, it felt off to me.
Yeah, he doesn't belong there.
No.
But yeah, CB, if this game has those updated graphics, I could see some 4-player couch stuff happening like early, before D&D starts.
Are these upcoming? So some more Nintendo 64 games here, including Mario Party 1, 2, and 3. Do those have online multiplayer? Because that would be sick.
Dude, if those had online multiplayer, that would be a game changer.
I'll be playing Mario Party with you guys. Yeah, we'd have to be playing every Friday. I love Mario Party.
Yeah, we'll be playing plenty of Mario Party.
Well, we had one of the last times we got together, we actually played the newer Mario Party that actually brought back some of the maps from these games, but they touched them up and made them look nicer.
It's like All Stars, right? Mario Party All Stars.
Yeah, and that was a fun time.
That was a really good time.
I need the crappy graphics. I think for the experience to be complete.
Now we can do it.
Yeah.
It would be fun to go back to the original Mario Party and be like, this is what we started with.
Right, yeah. It was probably fair back then.
Yeah, right.
I mean, to be fair, though, this N64 lineup is pretty awesome.
Pilot Wing 64 was pretty solid.
Yeah. Pilot Wing 64, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2.
Right. 1080 snowboarding and Excitebike 64. Pokemon Stadium, that would be another dope game for online.
Yeah. I'm excited because the N64 library is finally getting its due.
I mean, I like the strategy of one N64 game a month. You're just trying to appreciate them. Didn't Banjo come there, right?
Yeah, so Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie.
See, yeah. So Xbox and Nintendo, man, they're making it happen.
I know, dude. I'm all about it.
I've never played Excitebike 64. Is that any good?
I haven't either.
It's okay.
Okay.
Is it 3D?
It would have to be. Right?
It's been a hot minute, but yeah, it was that first jump to 3D environments.
Oh, okay. That one came out later in the life cycle of the 64, though, didn't it?
But it's still when they did the first Mario, Super Mario 64, and everyone's like, "Oh, whoa, this is going to be different." And it was okay. I still don't like that game as much.
Oh yeah.
All right, moving on. Octopath Traveler 2, which I don't know. I feel like I've got my fill of Octopath after the first one. Right. I just kind of expect this one to be a grind fest by the end. But Kevin Honigford is real excited about it. He said, "I'm crazy excited about Octopath 2. I think I put more time into the original than any other game I've played, not counting MMOs." I did not know that about Kevin.
Wow.
He says he cannot wait.
Oh, yeah.
How did he find time in between every Sonic game?
And all his Sonic statues.
Right.
Yeah. Also, Nintendo Switch Sports is getting golf coming this winter and some other fun updates. Neither of you have played that yet, have you?
No.
I own it. I have not yet played it.
Okay, so I'm going to say something real quick about that because I actually went on a camping trip with some friends this week. And when I say camping, it's a cabin that we rented.
It was glamping.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. But I brought my Switch and I did not bring my dock. I just brought the actual unit itself and in a carrying case and thought, hey, I'll just set this up on a stand and we can set it on a table and play some bowling. Guess what? If you try to play that game in 2-player mode without being docked, you cannot play it multiplayer. You can only play it 1 player.
Oh, it needs that extra power.
Tell me how that makes sense.
It needs extra power from the dock.
No, I don't even think it was a power issue. I mean, it makes sense for games like tennis.
No,
maybe.
No, he's saying extra power to the dock,
right,
basically.
Because performance is better when it's docked.
Okay, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about then.
But if you're trying to play a stand-up action game, 2 players standing next to a tiny little screen.
I mean, it worked in terms of, but you had to play, I had to play an entire round of bowling by myself while my friend watched, and then I had to watch her play an entire round of bowling while I watched. That's not fun. It's fun to go back and forth every frame.
I was saying, some games have better frame rates when it's docked and stuff. I don't understand the mechanics of it.
I don't either. My understanding was, or the way I thought originally was that it was more of an issue of if you're playing volleyball or you're playing badminton or something, somebody's going to be on the far end of the court, and it's not going to make any sense for you to move, to move from that side. But bowling shouldn't matter because it's just,
Right.
you
Yeah.
take turns. You could pass the controller. You know what I mean? But anyway, that was just a little gripe I had about Nintendo Switch. If I'd have known, I just would have brought the dock, and there actually was a TV in the cabin we could have used. Although the wives hid all the remotes as soon as we got there, so probably would have been a problem anyway. But anyway, moving on. Stop me if you want to talk about any of these guys. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Theater Rhythm. It's just Final Bar Line.
Theater Rhythm, Final Bar Line has near music this time. Everybody, not just
there it
Final
is.
Fantasy,
There's our one mention.
I will
this
not.
episode.
I will not be playing this game though.
Wow, even for that, huh?
It's got Final Fantasy attached to it, and I didn't even play the last one.
Yeah,
and I own it.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is getting its third wave of DLC track packs, all available at no additional cost if you are a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber. Boy, look at this. Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes are all getting cloud versions coming to the Nintendo Switch. That was a pretty cool story.
Who pays money for these cloud versions?
I guess I don't understand, because like all you're getting is you have to be online to play it, right?
You're paying $60 to stream it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't understand the logic in that.
And in order to stream it, you would have to be online.
Right.
Yep.
But I'm just like, I guess if you're a kid and it's just a way to maybe sneak past and get these M-rated games or something. But I just, I don't know.
Pretty sure it's the only way that some of these games can be played.
No, that is true. Yeah, because then you don't have to port it; you just stream it. I understand that, the logic in that, and the Xbox One does the same thing for some Series X games where you can stream the Series X games. But I'm saying, like, paying $60 to stream one game feels insane to me.
Well, no, I don't think it's so much that. I think it's they have to, because they cannot get the data to fit on a card.
I agree. Yes. No, I'm understanding. I'm saying, as a consumer, I do not understand the appeal to paying $60 to stream one game. That's what I'm saying. I know.
I mean, do you feel the same way about buying a digital copy of the game?
No, because then you could play it locally.
Right.
This would be like if I had to pay $20 per Netflix movie.
Oh, that's a really good point. That's a good way to look at it.
You know?
I mean, we have that now.
Right. But usually, like, if like movies I own on Vudu, I can still download to a local device if I want to.
No, and I'm talking about like on Disney. Like, if you want to, watch that Disney movie on Disney Plus, you could pay I think it's $30.
I thought they kind of stopped that.
Well, okay. Well, they were doing it.
They were doing it during COVID, but now I'm pretty sure they have.
Oh, because theaters were a thing.
Yeah. I also never did that once because I didn't understand the logic.
I never did either. I just knew it was there because it was a little ridiculous that I was going to pay more to watch this at home on my own television.
Well, especially with like Black Widow or Mulan or whatever. Like, they would be like, yeah, pay $30 now, or like it'll be on the streaming service in 90 days. I'm like, why wouldn't I just wait?
There's so much content. I don't have FOMO for movies anymore.
Right. Certainly not for Mulan.
Or not that many movies. Not those movies.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Kirby's Return to Dreamland looks adorable. Fae Farm, waiting for CB to respond.
He gives a thumbs
They can't
up.
see your smile and thumbs up,
I know.
man.
I know they can't, but I'm okay. I'm on the fence about this one, mostly because it's a new property.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you get further down the list, there's another one and another one after that I'm more excited about. So this one I'm kind of like,
A lot of people were complaining about this live stream, saying that it was just a ton of farming games.
Dude, it was. There are 3 genres allowed anymore: space horror, farming sim, or oh man, I had it, now I lost it. Sorry.
No, just simulators in general. Farming sims,
and shooters,
any sim.
Space horror, sims, or open world.
There you go.
Oh, feudal Japan. That's what I was gonna say, because feudal Japan games are coming in they're like making up for all lost time.
Feels like it. They finally listen to people.
Yeah,
coming in hot.
Yes.
It Takes Two coming to Switch. That's awesome. Am I correct in assuming that that's one of the where if you have a copy, then you can give a friend a code and they can play with you as well, as long as they're on Nintendo Switch Online?
I would assume so. That's what it did on the other consoles.
Yeah. Well, you can also play that one locally too. So
I'm,
play that
I'm
game,
glad,
people.
I'm glad that that game is getting more love, especially after like their whole like debacle and stuff.
What debacle? They
Debacle,
won game. They
debacle.
won game of the year. Oh, with the
I know,
person
but-
suing about the script or whatever.
Yeah, with them
Oh.
getting sued.
Well, that seemed to go nowhere fast. So
Yeah.
I don't even
But-
remember it.
I don't remember the details.
It was something really stupid that they got sued over. Wasn't it like the developer's name even or something?
No, it was like, I feel like this happens every now and again where somebody like sues for a script that they written that like this totally stole from my script, but the script was like 7 years old and nobody cares about it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad this game's getting more love.
Yeah.
It's
You still haven't
It's
played
a
it
del-
though.
nope. But I've watched parts of it.
I love it. Great game.
I think it's the problem is I want to play it with my wife, and she's just like, no.
Yeah, I played the first couple levels with my wife, and I can't, any more than 45 minutes. She's done, so
Right.
I'll play with Zach instead.
Yeah, I'll be your wife.
Yeah, I hope so.
Again, we referenced your trip to LA at the top of the show.
Exactly
Yeah, we
right,
did.
Yeah.
Splatoon 3 is they detailed some of their Splatfest stuff coming for that game.
Do you see that's the fastest selling game of all time in Japan?
I'm actually a little surprised by that. I mean, that game is huge over there.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like, I feel like a handful of people are stoked about that over here, but it's just like a cultural phenomenon over there.
Yeah, it sold like 2.65 million copies in like the first 12 hours in Japan.
It's just nuts.
That's insane, dude.
Just Dance 2023, Rune Factory 3 Special. I don't know how to pronounce this because I didn't actually watch the stream live. Is it just Ib?
Ib.
Tunic is coming to it's coming to the Switch on September 27th. A Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will second that. Yeah.
Coming in December.
Radiant.
I know. I'm actually a little excited about that one. So
I feel bad for any December game that's not Callisto Protocol because I'm going to play the hell out of that game. I'm probably going to play it twice.
Yep.
It looks so good.
We're going to talk about that game 2 weeks in a row, probably.
Yeah.
Radiant Silvergun, Bayonetta 3. Zach, excited about that one?
Yeah,
I
yep.
assume?
That's another. I am very excited. It comes out like 3 days after Gotham Knights, so we'll see. We'll see how my gameplay schedule looks like. But I do.
Mhm.
It might be a November game for me, but of course I'm excited for Bayonetta.
Then we had Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Expansion Pass, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, October 20th. Tales of Symphonia is getting a remaster.
Again,
And again.
it was remastered on PS3.
There you go. And like CB alluded to, another farming game, Harvestella.
Is this a Square Enix game again?
uh
Oh no, I'm thinking.
yeah, no,
it
that's
is.
the other one.
No,
No,
I think
is this one-
Harvestella and Various Day Life is both Square Enix.
They can't see your puzzlement, CB.
No,
Use your
I'm
words.
I'm thinking. No, you're right because the other one is a different company. Harvestella though, I'm actually kind of excited. It
Yeah.
looks fun.
Harvestella, yeah, Square Enix. Why is Square Enix doing two farming sims back to back?
I don't know.
What else are they going to do?
I don't know. Put up Paint Simulator 2 or Power Washing Simulator 2.
Got more info on Mario Strikers Battle League. There's a new member. Man, that game was such a disappointment. I just was bummed out about how it was in there. How do I pronounce this? Is it Atelier?
Atelier.
Ryza?
Atelier.
Ryza 3. I know CB's going to be stoked about this. Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life.
Yeah, it's a
Summer.
remake. Awesome.
Oh, okay, so you played that one, so it's not the same.
Well, it's been updated, so quality of life improvements. I'll play it.
Master Detective Archives Raincode coming spring of 2023. A game called Various Day Life.
Can't believe you ship a
game
game with that name.
It's a weird name. Zach really liked Sifu, and that's coming to the Switch on November 8th. A new Fatal Frame game. Hard to say.
Not new.
No?
New to us.
Yeah,
New
this
to
is-
English.
This is new to the U.S. This is new to the West,
Gotcha.
but
Fatal
I'm
Frame-
actually super excited for this.
Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. Was this the Wii U one?
No, that was Maiden of Darkwater.
Oh, okay.
This is the one that goes back to more the play style of Fatal Frame 1 and 2.
Okay.
So where you're actually like using the camera more purposefully.
Looks cool. Looks cool.
So, yeah.
That comes on Switch in early 2023. Fitness Boxing Fist of the... Or, no, I think that's two different games.
No, that is one. No, Fitness Boxing, Fist of the North Star.
Seriously?
Yeah, it is. A post-apocalyptic action and manga, and you can work out to it.
Okay, March 2023. I didn't get to actually watch this one live, so I didn't see that. I thought I actually forgot to hit enter after I typed one of those.
Which, if I remember correctly, this is the first Fist of the North Star was all the way back on the original NES.
Yep. Yeah.
So bringing it full circle.
SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake is coming to Switch next year. They still keep making those games. And by the way, I saw they're still making Garfield games, like Garfield and Garfield racing games. Like, did those sell that well or something?
There are sections of the world where Garfield is still stupidly popular.
It's got to be a cheap license.
It must be.
Well, it's just like Garfield, Hello Kitty. Like there's a few of those that like still sell wildly in certain areas.
I mean, you'd think that whoever owns the license, or after that expires, the next one would say, "Hey, this is worth a little more," or maybe that's the reason that they.
You'd think the same with Warhammer, but everybody gets to make a Warhammer game.
That's true.
We can make a Warhammer
Oddballers is coming to Switch early next year. Factorio Switch on October 28th. Endless Dungeon on Switch next year. And then Front Mission First and Front Mission 2 remake for both of those are coming to Switch this November. And the second one hits Switch sometime next year. Those are games I've never played before.
I've always been interested in the Front Mission, so I plan to pick these up. Still don't understand what is Square Enix doing. They're just random. They're mercenaries for hire, man.
It sure feels that way.
Why are these Switch exclusive?
So that is Nintendo's Direct, which, as excited as I am for another Legend of Zelda game, it's kind of sad to me that the thing that got me so stoked is GoldenEye. Like a 25-year-old game at this point. That's what I'm most excited to play out of this, even more than Zelda.
It's hard to. Well, yeah, it's weird because I'm excited for Zelda, but it's also I know what I'm in for, but I definitely know what I'm in for with GoldenEye. But yeah, something about GoldenEye is exciting. Maybe it's because you didn't expect it. You expect another Zelda game or another Metroid game or whatever, but to play GoldenEye again, I didn't expect that.
Because how often do we get a culturally dominant game that you can play with your friends?
How often
does a good point.
Video game history matter to the people in charge?
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Did we get dates, by the way? They didn't say when it was coming to Nintendo Switch Online.
I think it's before the end of the year. Because I know Mario Party 2 and 3 are next year.
Okay. Yeah, well, that needs to happen.
Well, they like to
100%.
Stagger them out.
3 of us and Alyssa, or 3 of us and somebody.
I am game.
No odd jobs.
Of course. That goes without saying.
Odd jobs, no slappers.
No slappers. Rocket launchers in the facility.
I say no odd job slappers only.
Dude.
I like the
slappers only. That would suck.
I like the jungle map. That was a good map.
That was a good one. I want to actually have like a cave that you went through that came on the other side or something, didn't it?
I like you guys are gonna see. I'm gonna do a whole bridge of proximity mines. That was one of my favorite things to do.
I utilize those proximity mines like crazy.
It's just so funny that you could stack them endlessly.
Right.
And then you could detonate them all or the remote mines, you could detonate them all at the same time, and the N64 would go down to 1 or 2 frames a second.
Yep.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yep. I wasn't the only one that tried to break that game, I see. So was that the stand-up for you guys too, or am I alone?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think Tears of the Kingdom is actually kind of a cool name.
I do too. I still feel like I don't know what that game really is.
No.
Like, are they going to go back and make it more like Breath of the Wild with like hundreds of mini dungeons?
It's like
probably.
It's like replicating the God of War Ragnarok marketing strategy of like, let's not show anything until like 2 weeks before it comes out.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the dungeons, if they're going to make tons of dungeons, it's really easy because you're going to be in the sky. There's all the little floating islands. The Tears of the Kingdom.
/ tears. I hope
it's not Tears.
I hope there's something to actually do in the overworld in the sky, unlike Skyward Sword, that had nothing to do at all.
Right. Or the one in Wind Waker, where like this massive ocean with.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, let's go find a treasure chest in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know. That at least was more exciting than Skyward Sword.
That's true.
I liked Wind Waker. I was 13 when it came out or whatever though. So.
Oh, I love Wind Waker. I thought there was fantastic dungeons. I just hated sailing. Now, granted, they've fixed that in the newer versions where like you can actually fast travel and stuff.
I love taking my time to sail. I had the music going, got the breeze rolling in. Those beautiful graphics.
Didn't you hate the sailing in Assassin's Creed though?
What? Yeah, it didn't belong there.
I love sailing in Assassin's Creed.
I had
especially 4.
I had other problems with 4. So.
Oh, okay. That was Nintendo. Let's move on to Sony. Their State of Play was on the same day, actually. These both were on September 13th. So this one actually does go in order. So they started with Tekken 8. We did not get a launch window. We just got a real snazzy trailer there.
All right.
I'm not a big fighter guy, but it looks impressive. I used to play Tekken all the time on the original PlayStation with my buddy Roy.
It has been enough years. Another Tekken was due.
Yeah, it's been a while. And I didn't even know that was a thing. Apparently, like when I started doing some searching for it, like it was announced or teased months ago, and I don't remember it being announced or teased months ago.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition coming to PSVR 2 in 2023. Yeah. Another PSVR 2 game called DeMeo coming 2023. I don't know. After the whole PSVR 2 story, I'm just kind of like turned off with.
Well, here's my thing. Star Wars, the Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition. How's it enhanced? Because clearly your PSVR 2 is probably not going to be as powerful as a PC VR.
Right.
So how are you enhancing this?
Well, was it on PSVR? I thought that was on Quest.
It's on the Quest, and you can sideload it into others.
Okay.
And it works great.
Okay. They went on to show Like a Dragon Ishin. I'm not a big...
Yakuza.
I mean, Like a Dragon is like the new Yakuza or something, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's like a Dragon is what it was always called in Japan. Mm-hmm. It's called Yakuza here, so they're just unifying the branding.
So it's like the Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest problem?
Exactly.
Oh.
Yep.
Did not know
exactly
that.
Right.
February 2023. Got to see another look at Hogwarts Legacy, February 10th, 2023.
Yo,
at this point, I don't even know if like it's even a good idea to keep showing that game because the controversy around J.K. Rowling is like doing a better job selling that game than anything.
I was gonna say it's all internet controversy. People that weren't gonna buy it anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
But what I'm upset about is like the little haunted mansion mission they showed off is exclusive to PlayStation. That sucks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that sucks.
Oh, you mean the company that doesn't like exclusive?
Yeah,
stuff?
which is weird, right? Because I've heard exclusives ruin the industry. But dude, this is so much worse. This kind of stuff is so much more annoying than just taking a whole game. Just take the game.
Right.
If you're going to be weird about it, just make it exclusive. I don't like this inferior version stuff.
Yeah, but it used to happen on older consoles.
I know, it sucked then too.
Well, like the one that comes to mind is Soul Calibur. Remember there was like a different fighter available in each version of the game.
But at least that was everybody got something. Where's Xbox's mission?
That's a good point.
Because it doesn't feel like hey, we built this for PlayStation. It feels like hey, PlayStation took this away from everybody else.
Oh, I'm waiting for like once the whole Call of Duty thing gets done, Xbox will be like, yeah, here's your Call of Duty. But these 4 missions of the main story will only happen on Xbox. And it completely just makes the story like strange on PlayStation.
Yeah, here's
just random spots like missing in the middle, not like 4 in a row.
Oh no, like the last 5 minutes of the game only available on Xbox.
I mean, if I were Xbox, I would keep giving them Call of Duty, but I would make all DLC maps only on Game Pass.
Oh.
Or just you can have the DLC maps. They're $70 per map. Free on Game Pass though.
I see that. I feel like that's going to hurt the consumer more than it's going to hurt the.
Yeah. So does this stuff though.
Hurt Sony, but
like a Dragon Ishin, is that also a PlayStation exclusive? I actually don't think that one.
I don't know.
Actually. Yeah, never mind. I take it back.
Pacific Drive coming sometime in 2023 is a really interesting trailer, and David Newman actually made a comment of this one. He said, "I'm not sure how you have a driving survival game, but Pacific Drive has me intrigued." That was and this is me talking now. That was a trailer I watched. I had no idea what was going on. but it just felt like something different, and that's why it piqued my interest more than anything else.
Right. I was trying in my head to compare it to something, and I really couldn't draw anything. And I was like, that's nice.
Yeah, because you and I were having this conversation during that state of play. Like, I'm tired of every trailer in this thing, and I'm speaking generally, but everyone was like, oh, that looks like Ghost of Tsushima. That looks like another fighting game. That looks like another Yakuza game. That everything looks like something else. This looks like something I've never seen before.
Right.
And
This one's definitely on my radar now.
me too.
Like, I saw the trailer and I'm like, this looks like it's going to be fun.
Well,
But again,
I
like
looked
you
at
said,
it the first 20 seconds of it. I was like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
And then I started they started putting some text on the screen and stuff. And I was like, okay,
I was
I'm
watching
a little
it
intrigued now.
watching it on mute at work, and it was this car driving around, right? And then you just like they kept cutting to the radio thing where it's like scanning on the wavelengths or whatever. But I
Uh-huh.
thought it was a car. Like, I was like, is this a Knight Rider game? Is the car talking to you?
Oh, now also apparently it's this developer's first game. It's their debut title.
That's awesome.
So
Coming in with a new idea, that's pretty wild.
exactly, and for them to have that and then get it on Sony's State of Play is wow.
Yeah.
I mean that tells me that whatever they've done impressed Sony quite a bit, and that gets me excited. To
Or
see what it is.
Sony just didn't have much in the well.
Well, maybe their list is a lot shorter than Nintendo's, but Nintendo had a lot of stuff
Farming
that I'm not
simulators.
interested in personally. But next up, they talked a little bit about PlayStation Stars, which is
So-
the reward program that they're trying to roll out.
So dumb.
Welcome to the party 5 years later.
Well, hey, you can give us points, and we'll let you look at a 3D render of a PlayStation 3.
Right.
I don't understand the appeal.
I don't either.
I don't get what they're doing here because honestly, all they had to do was just copy Microsoft's or even Nintendo's.
I was gonna say
Nintendo's, yeah.
the kind of reward program I'm interested in is the one that's gonna put more games on my console.
Save
Well, I
money.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xbox does in the way of money.
Right.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like doing something that I can go up and look up a 3D model of the PS3 somewhere online.
I can also just
Yeah.
look at my PS3.
That too.
Yeah.
Like it just, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to dwell too much on that. Sin Duality, spelled with a Y, not an I, coming to PS5 2023. Stellar Blade, coming to PS5 2023 as well. That is one that I thought was going to strike your fancy, Zach, did it not?
Yeah. No, I thought it looked cool. I think the characters look kind of weird.
Mhm.
Just the way they like move or whatever in cutscenes. But I think the game itself looked good. I think Stellar Blade is a terrible, terrible name. And in fact,
Especially the way they wrote it, like the actual
font.
art for the font or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
the
just like it's kind of difficult to read.
Well, it's also like it's about like an android girl, so Project Eve, kind of like about the birth of Eve. I was like, oh, that's actually not a bad name. I know it was a code name, but Stellar Blade sucks. I don't even that makes me feel like it's like a neon sword fighting game or something. I don't.
Yeah.
But the game itself
Yeah.
looked cool. That robot lady's got quite a booty on her,
That's true.
which I think they were putting in your face very purposely.
You're probably not wrong. 2 more games left. Rise of the Ronin coming to PS5 2024. That game looked like pretty long the way for it to be still 2 years out, but whatever. David Newman had a comment on there. He said, Rise of the Ronin looks like a lot of fun. Hopefully the swordplay is similar to Ghost of Tsushima, but with the addition of other weapon options that a Ronin would have. Yeah, that game is so early on at this point. I just feel like I'm not gonna like even really worry about that one because there's
That was kind of my thing. You may as well have just put a logo on the screen for all I learned. I mean,
right.
he's got a little like glider thing, so I guess he can kind of be feudal Japan Batman. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of Team Ninja game we're getting.
All I know is I liked Ghost of Tsushima so much that even if this is a budget knockoff of Ghost of Tsushima, I'm there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
luckily it doesn't look very budget. I just want to know, like, am I looking at another Souls-like combat system, or is this going to be more like their Ninja Gaiden games, or is it something else? But I just want to know what I'm playing. I
Yeah,
guess.
like I said, we got 2 years, so
Right.
Yeah.
I'm okay waiting. But I was intrigued. I'm glad it's on my radar, but
it's a shame.
And I'm weirdly okay not having all that information for a game that's that far out.
It's hard to believe
it's not going to be 2024. It'll be 2025 probably.
Hard to believe Sony locked this in as an exclusive. I know how they hate to do that.
Yeah. Speaking of exclusives, look at the next one.
Well, at least
God
this
of
one's
War
honest. This controller,
Ragnarok. Coming in November. We already knew the release date for this one, but we finally got some gameplay footage. Guys, this I don't know how you guys felt. I'm hoping I'm not alone here, but this one it looks very much the same gameplay, right? But this trailer sold me so hard. Like, I already wanted to play the game, but man, I don't know. Storytelling looks really good in this game.
Storytelling looks good. But if you watch that trailer closely, there's a big giveaway.
Okay.
Is it the boat? Is it the boat animation?
No. I'm pretty sure. Well, we were led to believe that Thor is going to be the primary antagonist in this.
Yeah, because remember they had a shot of like Thor that was not the Thor that we know from.
Pretty
Marvel.
sure Thor is going to die real quick.
Oh yeah. What do you think gave that away?
You watch how that axe is swung. In that final shot,
I'm gonna have to look at it again.
It pretty much looks like Thor just eats it right in the belly.
Okay.
Well, that doesn't necessarily going to kill a god.
Yeah,
but also, I mean, I feel like it would just make sense if you're killing your way through Norse gods and the cliffhanger is him at your door. Doesn't it just kind of make sense that you'd be killing him right away?
Yeah, but how? We all know that the final baddie of this is going to be Odin or Odin related,
right? Or some kind of possessed form of Atreus based on the ending of the first game.
Yeah. So, but it's going to lead towards that. So it would make sense to kick off the game with the death of his favorite son.
Right. Yeah. I guess I just always assumed the game would probably open with you killing Thor.
Kind of like they did with what's his name in the first game. Well, you didn't kill him though.
Baldur,
yeah.
Right, but I just meant
no,
because I because the game's name is Ragnarok. I assumed you would be just murdering your way through Norse mythology in this game.
I don't know what Ragnarok means. Can you explain?
The end of the world in Norse mythology.
Oh, yeah, especially the end of the gods.
Oh, okay.
It's the final battle. Like Fenrir, that wolf should eat Odin, right? Or they should kill each other.
The wolf. Yeah, the wolf and Odin will kill each other. If they
follow actual mythology.
Yeah. Well, I still think Atreus is actually Loki.
That is confirmed in the first game.
Well, I want to see how.
It is.
It's been a while, but I want to see how that plays out though, because I don't think he really realizes it or like knows what that means.
I think
because if they follow Norse mythology, Atreus is about to have a really bad time.
Definitely. I think also, apparently, we were at the spoiler tag the section of the podcast, apparently.
I mean, what was that, 6 years ago? Was that 2016?
2018.
2018?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why the serpent can understand him and everything.
But with as dark as that actual storyline gets.
No, definitely. I mean, also, it's weird that he's Loki's anyway, because Loki's dad is not Kratos in Norse mythology.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so.
I mean, they're taking liberties, obviously.
Yeah, definitely, of course. As they should.
They're blending pantheons.
Right.
And so you guys know way more about the actual mythology. I was just sold on this trailer from one line alone from this trailer. It just, I seriously got goosebumps when he says, "Death can have me when it earns me."
Right. It's pretty badass.
Like the most Kratos thing that Kratos could say.
Oh,
but it was just so cool,
believe me,
man.
that voice, it sounds awesome.
It's I'm not doing it justice at all with this voice, but my God, did that sound awesome. I was just like, and it's just such a succinct quote or succinct line. Like, I feel like we don't get ones that short that I've never heard before. It just was like a punch to the gut for me. That one line, all you had to do was give me that one line and I would have been sold on this game, I think.
See, I'm actually excited. The number one thing I'm excited about this game is a side character.
Who, the head? I can't remember his name now.
Well, granted, more Mimir is great.
Yeah.
But the fact that you clearly see Fenrir standing next to Atreus.
Right.
Who's Fenrir?
The wolf.
Fenrir is one of Loki's sons.
And is also a wolf.
So Norse mythology, Hel, Fenrir, and Jormungandr are Loki's sons. So the big world serpent in Norse mythology, that's Atreus' son.
I'm so confused. And how do you know that that's who you're looking at? If weren't those all like text? It wasn't like they had movies or comics of these characters when they were originally written, right? So how do you look at a character? I'm genuinely asking.
Well,
how do you look at a character and say, "Oh, that's
world
Fenrir" or
serpent.
whatever? Huh?
Well, Fenrir's a larger than life wolf. So it's the wolf that you
okay.
fought in the one in the first God of War 2018. That's Fenrir.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Jormungandr, they actually say it's the world serpent, Jormungandr.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hel is like you visit Hel's realm.
Right.
So I love Norse mythology. I've listened to like Neil Gaiman's book 3 times.
I did finish that book.
It's all in there, man.
Anyway,
the game does look cool. I don't know if I want to play more of the gameplay though, because I got tired of the first game's gameplay maybe halfway through.
Yeah.
So
I think about the time when you were going in the area, they had like flying angel type things. I can't remember what they weren't angels.
Valkyries.
Valkyries. I started to get fatigued at that point.
Yeah.
Is that halfway?
I don't know. I got fatigued before then. I just didn't think there was a lot of depth to the combat that excited me. And there was an awful lot of it. And
but remember, you felt the same way about Last of Us as well, and then Last of Us Part 2 came.
Right.
I know it's not the same. I know it's not the same developer, but
I agree with Zach on that one, where he's like, "Did Last of Us 2 really need to happen?"
Yeah, and also
we didn't think it needed to happen. Well, God of War 1 ended that a Part 2 needed to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
My problems with Last of Us Part 2 were more narrative than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because The Last of Us only had that one puzzle or 2 puzzles or whatever, but it was also only like a 10-hour game. Whereas God of War was a 25, 30-hour game and had enough meat for 10.
That's a good point.
But
I'm excited to go back.
I'm sure I'll play it eventually. I got to play Sonic first, obviously. That takes priority.
I feel like I'm going to have to watch a YouTube video of the story of the first game just to get caught up because I don't remember.
There's a novelization that's really good.
Is there?
Yeah. You listen to an audiobook if you wanted.
Of the original?
Of the 2018 game, yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll do that. Do you have to be like, you have to know all about Norse mythology to understand it?
No. It would probably read well even if you hadn't played the game, but if you've already played the game, it's just going to be a very good refresher.
A refresher.
Yeah, very good refresher.
Okay. I will probably do that next then, because I was considering doing another pause on my membership because I've got so many books stacked up, but I will go that route. So, all right, that was the 2 directs, but we got some more comments from the from the Gaming Outsider community that I want to share. Let's start with UCB over on Facebook.
So we have Rob Phillips, especially looking forward to the 3 Like a Dragon Yakuza games that were announced, as that series is amazing. Also, really looking forward to replaying Tales of Symphonia. Most of all, I'm really happy that they're bringing more Japanese games to the Xbox.
Yeah, I think Xbox is pretty excited about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach?
Edwin Smith writes in, I am very excited for Harvestella and Fae Farm for the Switch when they showed those trailers. Harvestella looked like a really good fantasy RPG farm sim, and I am definitely giving that demo they announced a go. And Fae Farm, I really want to get some friends together to play that since it looked like a cute co-op game.
I'm in. Hit me up, Edwin.
I know CB's in. Over on Discord, Mark Savansky said, State of Play, of course. I can't wait for Hogwarts Legacy. I'm confused by what Pacific Drive is supposed to be. Nintendo Direct, nothing really grabbed me. It will be fun to play GoldenEye again, and of course, I'd try Zelda if it's different enough from Breath of the Wild. Looks like a whole lot of Back to the Well for sequels or games that are similar to their best sellers. I do kind of agree with that. Like I said, GoldenEye and Zelda were like the main things I was interested in. So,
dude, it's so funny that I'm really excited for Tears of the Kingdom because even though Breath of the Wild's ending sucks so bad, it drags the rest of the game down. I did put like 100 hours into that game and not get bored with it, which is the total opposite of like God of War or something, you know.
Good point. Yeah. Yeah, I love that game. I did love that game just up until the end. One more on
All
Twitter.
right. Well, over on Twitter, Jeff Swan at Nindy Nation, Scott's friends.
Yes.
This week I learned Nintendo-centric gamers in Japan effing love farming sims.
True story.
You're not wrong. Also, my kids judged direct solely on how many times I shrieked. That number was exactly equal to the N64 games announced for the Nintendo Switch Online. Most stoked for Crisis Core.
Wait, did we miss that one? Was Crisis Core announced?
Yeah, Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII.
We both got.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of an N64 game. I thought there was a Crisis Core on N64 that I forgot to add to the list.
Oh.
Crisis Core, the Final Fantasy. Okay,
I hadn't
gotcha.
considered Crisis Core was a PSP game. It'd probably be pretty awesome on the Switch. Keep that portability intact.
Yeah? And I've never played it.
Switch, didn't it get another port too?
The Crisis Core?
Yeah.
It might have gotten ported to PS2 because they did that for a lot of PSP games, but I don't remember it leaving PSP personally.
I thought it got moved to something else.
Because there was a rights issue for many years because Gact, Japanese pop singer, plays one of the characters. So they had to re-sign his likeness to re-release it, so they just didn't for a long time.
Oh.
But now, obviously, with the remake hype, you could pay whatever. I think they are actually redoing the character without him in the re-release.
Yeah,
which is fine.
I just thought it was on PS3 or didn't it come to Vita?
I mean, you can play PSP games on Vita.
I'm just drawing a blank,
All right.
but more Final Fantasy on Xbox. I'm excited.
Same here. Also, shout out to Jeff. Like Chris said, he is a buddy of mine, but he also does a fantastic podcast called Nindy Nation. If you like the Switch and you like independent games, check that out. He does a really, really solid job. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider. Before we head out of here, Zach, do you have any parting words for the community or maybe some recommendations?
Hey, football's back.
Shut up.
I
don't know why you insist on making fun of me for my love of football.
I'm not making fun of you. It's just funny because it's just recently back, so it's the talk of the town everywhere I go. That's all.
Yeah.
You
guys don't even have a football team in Oregon.
We do not.
You guys are like the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I don't have any of this.
Well, that's college. I'm talking pro.
Anyway, no, I got nothing though. Nothing real.
All right, CB, how about you?
I have a book recommendation.
Hey, so do I. But I'll let you go do yours first.
Mine's going to be better. Sorry.
All right.
Wow, okay.
What If 2 from Randall Monroe. It's more serious scientific answers to absurd hypothetical questions.
That sounds right up your...
The science behind these,
Yeah.
his first book was amazing. Like, how many tea kettles would it take to boil a river?
Just asking the important questions.
Yeah.
Like, Scott, you should just listen to the first book. It's narrated by Will Wheaton, by the way.
Oh, I'm sold then. That's all you had to... You should have led with that.
Right there, just Will Wheaton trying to, if you had a box with a hairdryer in it and the hairdryer had infinite heating capability, what would happen? It's a real fun
Does it
listen.
get super technical, like you're reading stereo instructions though?
No, because the entire book is written by an internet cartoonist.
Okay,
so he actually
confused.
has people come in and explain how this would work.
Mm-hmm.
The hairdryer in a box, if the hairdryer could just keep heating up higher and higher and higher, it would basically become a box that keeps skipping through our atmosphere, setting off nuclear explosions.
Who comes up with this? It just seems so random.
The guy has a website called xkcd.com where people can write in with questions that they want answered. And these are the best questions that he's put into a book.
All right. I'm intrigued. Mine is a book recommendation as well. I actually started Console Wars, obviously audiobook. I'm only about 4 hours in, but I am already riveted. I'm shockingly more intrigued by the Sega side of the story, following Tom Kalinski's journey, than I am anything with Nintendo, although I am learning some Nintendo stuff. I didn't know that... you know what Nintendo means? Like what?
Leave luck to heaven.
Leave luck to heaven. I never knew that. I just thought that was leave luck to heaven. It was just really cool. No, but the whole it's called Console Wars, so I expect it to be about Nintendo versus Sega, which it is. But it starts out as internal struggle with Sega, like what the things that Tom had to do in order to it was basically fighting Sega US or
Sega Japan.
Sega Japan versus Sega of America, like with the design of Sonic, like how that thing almost was a debacle.
That story was great.
It's just nuts to me. I just and the whole opening story about Tom Kalinske being in Hawaii to get recruited by the president of Sega, like he actually had to hunt him down and went. Could you imagine like going up to somebody on their vacation with their family and say, "Hey, can you leave your vacation and come with me to Japan so I can show you something?"
Well, not only that, but like before then, when there's that little snippet where he was like in Europe hunting down the Mattel.
Oh no, the Matchbox,
the Matchbox like knockoff. Yeah. He's like, okay, we finished that. Gonna go on to Hawaii. Go to Hawaii for vacation.
Right. Yeah. It's just it's a really cool story. Again, I'm not super far, but I think I'm officially obsessed with nonfiction about the video game industry. So if you two have any more recommendations, like if you could make me a list, because I've read Masters of Doom and I've done Console Wars. I've done Jason Schreier's books. I have a thirst for knowledge.
Don't worry, I can just like loan you my Audible account.
All right, I may take you up on that. So, yeah, Console Wars. I know we've talked about it in the past, but I finally am getting around to it, and it's like 20 hours, but absolutely riveted. So, highly recommend it. So, all right, well, everybody out there, thank you so much for listening. I'd like to remind you that The Gaming Outsider is produced by Nate Lucas, and all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemmage and Metroid Metal. His website, if you haven't checked it out, please do. He does a bunch of awesome stuff at stemmagemusic.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson and Chris Behrensmeyer, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.